Chapter 994. Just as he was about to explain to Xianxia gently, he was interrupted by Zhao Yun. Fourth brother, aren't you being too serious? No matter what sister-in-law did, you shouldn't have such an attitude. Moreover, this matter has a lot to do with you. Fourth brother Zhao, you have to think about your own actions first. I'm already married, so I should keep a suitable distance from other women. Moreover, it's the woman you used to like. Are you helping her with her work out of the kindness of your heart? Or do you mean something else? Zhao Yun's questioning made Zhao Si speechless. He felt guilty and didn't know how to refute. Fourth brother Zhao, you really can't blame sister-in-law for this. Sister-in-law is a woman. It's normal for her to feel uncomfortable when she sees another woman in her man's heart. On the other hand, cousin, you've been married to sister-in-law for so many years. Do you think it's right for you to speak to her in such a fierce tone for another woman? The more Zhao Yun said, the more ashamed Zhao Si felt. Thinking about what he said and did, he did go overboard. I'm sorry, Chia. I went overboard. Zhao Si realized his mistake and hurriedly apologized to Xianxia. Xianxia's heart was broken by Zhao Si. She didn't want to listen to Zhao Si anymore. She rushed into the room. She didn't want to talk to Zhao Si. Seeing Xianxia close the door with a bang, Zhao Si didn't even have a chance to explain. Looking at the closed door, Zhao Si could only continue to sigh. Zhao Yun walked to Zhao Si and said to him, Fourth brother Zhao, I shouldn't have said so much. I just couldn't help it. What you said today really hurt sister-in-law's heart. There's one thing you have to understand. No matter who you like, you're living with sister-in-law now. You have to do what you should do as a husband. Fourth brother Zhao, you're a man. Actually, you should know all this. I don't need to say more. Now that sister-in-law is sad because of this, you'd better think about how to comfort her. You'd better have a better attitude and act like you should. Also, this is your fault, so you have to apologize. After Zhao Yun finished speaking, Zhao Si was silent for a moment. In the end, he nodded and replied, Okay Yun, I'll remember what you said. Thank you for your reminder. Seeing that Zhao Si's attitude had changed in time, Zhao Yun was slightly relieved. She was afraid that Zhao Si would be stubborn and continue to blame Yen. Alright, fourth brother Zhao, you can coax sister-in-law first. I'll go back first. Zhao Yun said. Zhao Si nodded and replied, Alright then. Yun, go back and do what you need to do. Yes. Zhao Yun originally wanted to get the salted vegetables, but after this she probably couldn't get the salted vegetables. Fortunately, she wasn't in a hurry to eat. If she really wanted to eat, she could make some herself later. This thing could be stored for a long time, so it was quite good. Also, it wasn't difficult to make. In her previous life, Zhao Yun often marinated radishes and cabbages with her mother. Especially the big white radishes, they were fragrant and crispy after being marinated. They were especially delicious. It was a pity that she couldn't eat radishes during this season. She could only wait until winter to eat them. Now she could only wait for winter to come. When that time came, she could make more radishes and eat them slowly throughout the year. That was fine. Chapter 995. At that moment, the sound of Daodu and Yi Li's laughter could be heard from inside the house. The two of them seemed to be having a lot of fun. Zhao Yun couldn't help but be curious about what the two of them were talking about. Originally, when Mu Lianfeng wasn't home, Daodu was very bored by himself. He didn't expect Yi Li to suddenly come over. Now, there was finally someone to accompany Daodu. Daodu also seemed to like Yi Li a lot. For the past 2 days he had been sticking to Yi Li. Zhao Yun was originally worried that Daodu would be too clingy and disturb Yi Li. However, Yi Li didn't seem to mind. Instead, he seemed to enjoy spending time with Daodu. Zhao Yun wondered if it was because Yi Li didn't have any family and was usually very lonely. Was that why he was so happy when he played with Daodu? Zhao Yun was also very happy to see this. Since the two of them liked to stick together, it couldn't get any better. By keeping each other company, she didn't have to worry about whether Yi Li was too bored or whether Daodu was too bored. After they finished drying the clothes, Daodu came out of the house and walked over to Zhao Yun. He tugged at Zhao Yun's sleeve. Zhao Yun raised her eyebrows and asked, What's wrong, Daodu? Daodu replied in a cute voice, Mother, can you help me nail a few wooden stakes? Nail wooden stakes? Zhao Yun was stunned and asked with uncertainty. Yes. Daodu nodded heavily. Zhao Yun was even more confused. Why are you nailing wooden stakes? Mother, Uncle Handsome said that he wanted to teach Daodu how to fly. That's why I'm nailing wooden stakes for Daodu to practice. Daodu explained in a cute voice. I see. Could it be that Yi Li wanted to teach Daodu about light industry? Yeah. Daodu nodded heavily, then turned to Zhao Yuner and said, "Mother, Daodu wants to be like Uncle Beauty and fly in the sky." Zhao Yuner looked at Daodu's expectant eyes and found it hard to reject Daodu. In fact, Zhao Yuner felt that it was indeed very cool to be able to do light work. People flying in the air should have a different feeling. It was as if he had grown wings. However, seeing that Zhao Yuner was silent and did not reply, Daodu could not help but shake Zhao Yuner and continue to ask, Mother, what do you think? Can you help Daodu nail a few wooden stakes?" Zhao Yuner sighed and said earnestly, "Daodu, although it's good to fly in the sky, if you practice like this, wouldn't it be too dangerous? What if you fall? Daodu, it's very painful. It's fine if you fall on your butt, but if you fall on your face, you'll be disfigured. When that happens, Daodu's originally cute little face will have a lot of wounds. I don't think you'll be cute anymore." After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Daodu's expression drooped. "Mother, is that really the case?" Daodu asked in a very sad tone. "Of course it's dangerous. But if Daodu isn't afraid of danger, Mother naturally won't stop you. But you're a little man now, you should know the consequences. So whether you want to learn or not, you can decide for yourself. You just have to remember what Mother said. No matter what you do, it's not easy. Learning martial arts is not easy either. Flying in the sky looks very cool and fun, but once you learn it, you'll probably need to fly for a very long time." Chapter 996. Zhao Yuner felt that her question was a bit too profound for a child to understand. She wasn't sure if Daodu could understand what she was saying. Zhao Yuner saw Daodu's little brows wrinkle as if he was thinking about something. But Daodu was still very cute like this. "Mother, Uncle Beautiful also told Daodu that when you first start learning, you'll definitely fall down and it'll be very painful. But Daodu wants to be like Uncle Beautiful. Daodu also wants to fly around in the sky." Zhao Yuner touched Daodu's little face. This little guy probably misunderstood that she didn't want him to learn. "Alright, in that case Daodu can learn. Mother, help Daodu nail a few wooden stakes," Zhao Yuner said with a smile. After hearing Zhao Yuner say this, Daodu's little face showed an even bigger smile. It had to be said that Daodu's sweet smile really had the ability to melt people's hearts. How did she give birth to such a cute child? Zhao Yuner sighed in her heart. After sighing, she felt that something was wrong. No, it should be that how could the child of the original owner be so cute? She didn't give birth to Daodu, so she didn't dare to take the credit. Otherwise, wouldn't she be too shameless? However, although she didn't give birth to Daodu, she could continue to have children with Mu Lianfeng in the future. If she wanted to have another child, Zhao Yuner wanted to have a girl. If that was the case, she and Mu Lianfeng would have children together. This was something that many people couldn't hope for. If they really gave birth to a daughter, and Daodu was so cute, it was likely that this little girl's looks wouldn't be low either. If she was as pink and tender as Daodu, she would definitely be a cute doll. "Mother, you're the best," Daodu said as he hugged Zhao Yuner's thigh. Zhao Yuner patted Daodu's head and replied dotingly, "Of course, if Xianxia isn't good to Daodu, who else can Xianxia be good to?" Yes, Daodu nodded. After that, Zhao Yuner didn't stay idle but got busy. Zhao Yuner followed Yi Li's instructions and found a few wooden stakes. In front of her yard, she took the thicker side of the axe and began to hammer the stakes into the ground. After spending half an hour, Zhao Yuner finally nailed the wooden stakes. Looking at the nailed stake, Zhao Yuner finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Daodu, it's done. Later you can let your beautiful uncle teach you how to practice." Yes, Daodu nodded excitedly. He couldn't wait for Yi Li to teach him. However, Yi Li couldn't come out now, so he could only wait until nighttime. On the other side, on the third branch's land, a few men were working in full swing. However, with the arrival of summer, the weather was getting hotter and hotter. Every day when he was working, he would be basked in the scorching sun. His whole body couldn't help but sweat, and the amount of water he drank also increased. Therefore, they had to deliver water several times a day. The foundation of the third branch's house had already been laid. Now they were busy building the inside of the house. Because they were working faster, even though the house was bigger, it was still about 50 centimeters tall. Chapter 997. As for Mulan's house, Zhu Eru was busy laying the foundation by himself. He had been looking for masons for the past 2 days and finally found 2. He would get the masons to come over tomorrow and start building the house. Mulan's house was not like Zhao Yuner's house. They did not need to build so many houses, so they did not need so many people. Even if there were 2 masons, it would be enough. In this way, the construction period would be about the same as Zhao Yuner's house. Perhaps the 2 families would be able to live in the new house at the same time. At this time, Zhu Eru had almost finished the water in the kettle, so Mu Hin came over with the kettle to deliver water. As for the third branch, Zhao Ping'er was only thinking about her wedding dress at home today, so she did not remember to deliver water. So after Mu Hin delivered water, Liang Jinhui casually said, "Why hasn't Ping'er delivered water yet?" "That's right. Usually Ping'er would have delivered water by this time." "That's right. Ping'er is dawdling around at home. I don't know what she's doing. Now that there's no water, she's very thirsty, but she's nowhere to be seen." "Sai, that's right. Ping'er is unreliable." This was what Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui said one after another. They could not be blamed. They were indeed very thirsty. Now there was no water again. They had been waiting for a long time for Zhao Ping'er to come over. Mu Hin came over to deliver water, but Zhao Ping'er still did not come. Liang Jinshan could not stand it anymore and said to Liang Jinhui, "Why don't we ask for some water first and wait for Ping'er to deliver it before returning it to her?" Liang Jinhui nodded and felt that this idea was feasible. After all, Mu Hin delivered such a big kettle of water. Zhu Eru would not be able to finish it in a short time, but they could not hold on any longer. "Alright, let's go get one." "Alright." Liang Jinhui nodded. Therefore the two men walked up to Mu Hin and stopped Mu Hin. Mu Hin looked at Liang Jinhui and Liang Jinshan in confusion and asked, "What's wrong, uncles?" After all, Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui were very polite since they were the ones asking for help. Liang Jinshan chuckled and said, "Girl, we don't have anything else to do. It's just that we finished our water, so we wanted to ask if we could ask you for a cup of water? If my eldest niece comes back later, I will return the water to you." Mu Hin glanced at Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinfen. He knew that Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui were Zhao Tianan's uncles, so he was very polite to them. Mu Hin smiled and said, "Of course this is a big deal. You must be thirsty. Why don't I pour half a kettle of water for you to drink?" Mu Hin felt that it was okay to give half a kettle of water to Zhao Yuner's family. If her brother-in-law did not have enough water, he could send it over later. It was just a matter of making 2 more trips, so it was not that troublesome. When Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui heard this, they immediately responded with a smile. "Haha, okay. Little girl, you're really a good person. You're so kind." Mu Hin naturally knew that Liang Jinshan and Liang Jinhui were just casually praising her. So he said, "It's nothing. It's just a little water. It's nothing good." Chapter 998. Under normal circumstances, water is indeed not a good thing. After all, water is free. You can just go to the river and get some. But when people are thirsty, water is a good thing. If there is no water, people will probably die of thirst. That's true. Mu Hin nodded in agreement. In fact, sometimes when one was hungry, one would not feel too uncomfortable. It was just that when one was thirsty, one would feel terrible. Without water, one would not be able to hold on for long. "Haha, uncle, you're right," Mu Hin replied with a smile. "That's why you delivered the water in time. We are dying of thirst. Sai, my eldest niece is not as attentive as you. She hasn't returned the water since she delivered it today." Mu Hin nodded shyly. She felt very embarrassed to be praised by Liang Jinshan one after another. After all, it was just a little water. If she had given something better and received such praise, she might have accepted it with a little more peace of mind. Zhao Tianan also walked in the direction of Mu Hin. He had been working until now and he was also very thirsty. Now, Zhao Tianan did not feel embarrassed in front of Mu Hin. When he saw Mu Hin bringing water over, he also wanted to ask for some water to drink. "Mu Hin, you're here." Zhao Tianan went forward and greeted Mu Hin with a smile. Mu Hin smiled and nodded. He poured a glass of water and handed it to Zhao Tianan. Then he said to Zhao Tianan, "Come, you must be thirsty. Drink some water." Zhao Tianan smiled. Just as he was about to take the water from Mu Hin, a girl's voice called out to him not far away. "Tianan, Tianan?" It was Ma Xiaofeng's voice. Zhao Tianan recognized it immediately. Then he looked in the direction of Ma Xiaofeng. He saw that Ma Xiaofeng was also holding a water bottle in her hand. She was not far away and was looking at him eagerly. Zhao Tianan's heart suddenly trembled. He did not expect Ma Xiaofeng to come looking for him again. Mu Hin also looked in the direction of Zhao Tianan's gaze. After seeing Ma Xiaofeng, Mu Hin's heart felt uneasy. She knew that Zhao Tianan liked Ma Xiaofeng. Because she knew she had this bad feeling in her heart. Mu Hin was not sure if it was because she liked Zhao Tianan or if she did not want him to be with Ma Xiaofeng. Perhaps this thought was because she was jealous of Ma Xiaofeng. After all, Zhao Tianan's heart was filled with Ma Xiaofeng. As long as she was a woman, she probably did not want the man she liked to be with another woman. However, after all, she was not Zhao Tianan's woman. She did not even dare to say that she had feelings for Zhao Tianan. What right did she have to care who Zhao Tianan was with? After thinking about it, Mu Hin felt that her heart was stuffed, and she felt a little uncomfortable. After Zhao Tianan did not take the water bottle for a long time, she withdrew it. Mu Hin's heart was very depressed, but she did not know what to say. She hoped that Zhao Tianan would stop looking at Ma Xiaofeng and ignore Ma Xiaofeng. However, the reality was different from what she expected. When Zhao Tianan saw Ma Xiaofeng, after all, there were so many elders on the family's land. It would not be good if something happened. After thinking about it, Zhao Tianan still walked in the direction of Ma Xiaofeng. Looking at his back, Mu Hin felt a sense of loss. Chapter 999. Mu Hin quickly hid the sense of loss in her eyes. Forget it. No matter what Zhao Tianan did, it was none of her business. After all, she couldn't control it and she shouldn't ask for anything. Person like her. Could it be that she expected such a good man like Zhao Tianan to like her? Mu Hin knew in her heart that Zhao Tianan was so good to her only because Zhao Tianan sympathized with her. Zhao Tianan was kind by nature, no matter who he was to. To her, there was nothing special about him at all. Zhao Tianan walked to Ma Xiaofeng and asked Ma Xiaofeng, "Xiaofeng, why did you come to see me?" This time Ma Xiaofeng learned to be smart. She didn't say anything else, but directly showed concern for Zhao Tianan. Ma Xiaofeng knew that the tougher her attitude toward Zhao Tianan, the more Zhao Tianan would dislike her. In this case, she might as well start a gentle offensive. In this way, Zhao Tianan certainly wouldn't have the heart to say harsh words to her. In fact, men were like this. They liked women who were gentle. How many men would like that kind of tigress? In addition, men also liked women who were well-behaved, sensible, and sensible. Mu Hin, that be *tch, actually pretended in front of Zhao Tianan. Her acting skills weren't worse than Mu Hin's, so she also pretended directly. "Tianan, I thought that you must be tired from working in the afternoon. The weather is so hot, so you must be very thirsty. So I brought you some brown sugar water. Do you want to drink it?" Ma Xiaofeng said with a smile. Her voice was soft, and it made Zhao Tianan's heart tremble again. Brown sugar water was a good thing in the eyes of the country people. After all, brown sugar wasn't cheap, and it couldn't be drunk under normal circumstances. Ma Xiaofeng could take out such a good thing to bring him some brown sugar water, which showed that Ma Xiaofeng had good intentions. It was Ma Xiaofeng's actions that made Zhao Tianan's heart feel even worse. Zhao Tianan looked at Ma Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng was smiling at him, and the smile on her face made people's hearts melt. In the beginning he was moved by Ma Xiaofeng's charming smile, and now he couldn't resist it. "Xiaofeng," Zhao Tianan's mouth muttered. He was somewhat reluctant to part with Ma Xiaofeng. "Tianan?" Ma Xiaofeng murmured. "Xiaofeng." Suddenly there was a bit of bitterness and of Zay's heart. He couldn't be like this. Otherwise he might really waver. However, he couldn't take out the 50 taels of silver. If he wavered at this time, it would only add to his troubles in the future. "Xiaofeng, thank you, but you should take it back and drink it yourself." Zhao Tianan refused. Ma Xiaofeng stared blankly, and her eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. She was like this and Zhao Tianan still refused her. Could it be that Zhao Tianan really had a change of heart? Some unhappy people didn't have lower lips. No, she couldn't just give up like this. Zhao Tianan was hers. She couldn't give him to that *tch Mu Hin. Ma Xiaofeng showed a delicate and pitiful appearance in front of Zhao Tianan. "Tianan, I specially brought it over to you. It's a piece of my heart. Can't you drink it?" Meeting Ma Xiaofeng's misty eyes, he knew that he must have hurt Ma Xiaofeng's heart by doing this. How could his heart not be pained? But what could he do? Zhao Tianan inadvertently looked in Mu Hin's direction. He found that Mu Hin was also looking at him. Chapter 1000. Images of Ma Xiaofeng and Mu Hin popped up in his mind. He didn't even know who he was thinking about. "Tianan, do you really not want to talk to me? Do you hate me that much?" Ma Xiaofeng started to cry. Zhao Tianan's heart ached when he saw this. He really didn't want to see Ma Xiaofeng like this. "Xiaofeng, it's not that I don't want to talk to you and I don't hate you. It's just that it's not possible between us. My family definitely can't afford the 50 taels of betrothal gift that your mother said." Zhao Tianan's meaning was very clear. Because Qian Chuanxiu made things difficult for him, he couldn't do anything about it. She couldn't blame him for having a change of heart. Ma Xiaofeng was silent for a moment, then said with some grievance, "Tianan, your family is so rich and your brother-in-law is the heir apparent. Actually, 50 taels of silver isn't a lot for your family, right? My mother only has one daughter and our families are in conflict. That's why she asked for such a high price. Xiaofeng. It's not as simple as you think. How could 50 taels of silver be wrong? Actually, if his family didn't object, it would be very good. It would be possible for his parents to take out 50 taels of silver for him to marry a wife. But his family was against it, and Zhao Yun was also against it, so they definitely wouldn't take out 50 taels of silver as a betrothal gift. Even if they were willing to take it, Zhao Tianan would feel bad. After all, he had spent so much of his family's money. 50 taels of silver could be used for a lot of time. His mother and second sister sold breakfast in Xiangyang City every day, and it was very hard for them. Tianan, am I wrong? Your sister and brother-in-law are so rich. This isn't too much, right? Or is it that you don't like me enough so you want to give up on me because of this little bit of money? Ma Xiaofeng looked at Zhao Tianan with even more sadness. Zhao Tianan couldn't help but shake his head. No, Xiaofeng, it's not what you think. You don't understand. Anyway, don't look for me now. After Zhao Tianan finished speaking, he ran away from Ma Xiaofeng. Tianan, Tianan, Ma Xiaofeng continued to call out a few more times, but Zhao Tianan didn't pay attention to her. Ma Xiaofeng had no choice but to leave with the kettle. If even this method didn't work, then he really had to think of other methods. But what could he do? Ma Xiaofeng racked her brains for a while, but she couldn't figure out what to do. Could it be that he had to resort to an extreme method? Sighing slightly, Ma Xiaofeng didn't want to continue thinking about it. She turned around and left. Zhao Tianan returned to Mu Hin's side and drank Mu Hin's water. Mu Hin saw that Zhao Tianan was not in a good mood, so he asked with concern, "Are you okay?" Zhao Tianan shook his head. "I'm fine." "Did the two of you get into a fight?" Mu Hin asked again with concern. Zhao Tianan didn't say anything. He didn't know how to respond to Mu Hin. Mu Hin tugged at the corner of his mouth. "Actually, that girl is quite nice. If you two like each other, don't get into a fight. If there are any misunderstandings, explain them properly. Otherwise, the misunderstanding will only deepen." After Mu Hin finished speaking, Zhao Tianan couldn't help but look at Mu Hin a few more times. Why was this girl discussing things like this? Thinking about what Ma Xiaofeng said to Mu Hin before, and then thinking about what Mu Hin said to help Ma Xiaofeng now, Zhao Tianan felt that there was a gap between them. Chapter 1001. Zhao Tianan shook his head and said, "No, then you see Zhao Tianan tugged at the corners of his mouth. "No, nothing." Zhao Tianan secretly erased the emotions in his heart. Naturally, others could not see what he was thinking in his heart. Only he knew. For some reason, the moment he saw Mu Hin, Zhao Tianan suddenly had a very different feeling. He had never had this kind of feeling before. Nothing much happened in the next few days. It was just that Zhao Yun'er's family was busier. Because there were more men working, she had to cook every day and entertain the whole family. When it was time for Zhao Ping'er's wedding, Zhao Yun'er did not continue to set up a stall in the town for 2 days. Instead, she began to prepare the things needed for the banquet. Holding a banquet was not a simple matter. There were too many things that needed to be done. Even buying groceries took a long time. Fortunately, Zhao Yun'er's family had a little donkey. She could pull the little donkey wherever she went. Otherwise, she would be exhausted to death carrying so many things back. When she went to the town to buy groceries, Zhao Yun'er decided on the quantity of things she bought back according to the number of guests. After all, she couldn't buy too little, but she couldn't buy too much either. If she bought too little, she couldn't entertain the guests. If she bought too much, it would be a waste if she couldn't finish it. Liang Jinxiao said that there were a total of more than 70 families in the village who had sent gifts. Including her relatives, there were about 80 families. Basically, there were 8 people sitting at a table in the countryside except for children. Basically, one person from each family who had sent gifts would come to the wedding. Some families would bring their children over, but the children would not be at the table. They would make do with something to eat at the side. Based on the number of people who came, Zhao Yun'er's family estimated that there would be 10 tables of banquets. With so many banquets, Zhao Yun'er had already estimated how many dishes she would prepare in her heart. Zhao Yun'er had asked the butcher to save the pork for her in advance. There were 50 kilograms of meat left. 50 pounds of meat might seem like a lot, but many dishes required meat. Meat pies, meatballs, stir-fried meat, etc. He bought more than 10 chickens and a lot of fish. The other thing was vegetables. These side dishes were quite cheap. Although they bought a lot, they didn't spend much. The other thing was to buy alcohol. All the men who came to drink wine had to drink wine, so this had to be prepared well. Zhao Yuner bought 10 jars and brought them back. It was fine if they couldn't finish the wine. They could keep it and drink it slowly later. Anyway, xuanhuan loved to drink, and the men working at home had to prepare a few cups of wine to entertain him every day. He spent a total of 2 taels of silver. Counting the gifts from the other families, there was still a little surplus. This was the first time the third branch was holding a banquet, so they naturally couldn't be too shabby. Otherwise they would be looked down upon and laughed at. This time, Zhao Yuner didn't let those people from old Zhao's family participate in the third branch's wedding banquet. They were all unreliable. If she let them help, she was afraid that they wouldn't be able to help and would cause a lot of trouble instead. However, this wedding banquet wasn't a simple matter. Zhao Ping'er found a few more reliable people to come over. One of them was Mulan, Mu Hin, old Madame Chen, Zhao Yuner herself, and Liang Jinxiao. The 3 of them were busy and there were enough people. Mulan and Mu Hin could help wash and cut the vegetables. Liang Jinxiao and old Madame Chen could help, and Zhao Yuner could cook. That was enough. Chapter 1002. She invited old Madame Chen over because she was more familiar with her. Zhao Yuner wouldn't pay her for coming over to help. She was prepared to give some of the leftover meat and side dishes to old Madame Chen as a form of gratitude after she was done with her work. It was much better for the villagers to take a fancy to these things than to give them money directly. With her relationship with Mulan now, Zhao Yuner didn't feel embarrassed to ask for Mulan's help. When their relationship reached a certain level, they wouldn't stand on ceremony with each other. After buying the things, Zhao Yuner moved them into the car one by one. Fortunately, Xiao Mao was strong and could now pull more weight. It was all thanks to Xiao Mao. Zhao Yuner patted Xiao Mao's head and said to Xiao Mao, you've worked hard. I'll give you something good to eat when we go back. Xiao Mao raised its head in response. Zhao Yuner's smile deepened. After patting Xiao Mao's head, she stared at Xiao Mao and found that Xiao Mao had grown a lot. Its current size couldn't be called a little donkey anymore. It should be called a big donkey. Zhao Yuner wondered if Xiao Mao's size would be as big as a horse one day. It shouldn't be possible. After all, Xiao Mao was just a donkey. It was different from a horse. It was a different species, so it would be difficult to catch up. Xiao Mao, eat well when we go back. Let's see how big you can grow. Zhao Yuner patted Xiao Mao's head again and reminded it. Furry seemed to understand and made a series of soft noises. Zhao Yuner thought that Xiao Mao had agreed and smiled at Xiao Mao. Xiao Mao is so obedient. Liang Jinxiao didn't have much experience in hosting a banquet for the first time, so he was worried about whether he could host a good banquet. The last time old Zhao's family held a wedding was when Zhao Tianlong got married. However, they hadn't split up at that time. Zhao Baoshan and xuanhuan were in charge of the arrangements. Now that they had split up, she had to take care of the family matters alone. He was afraid that he would mess up the banquet if something went wrong. If he really messed it up, it wouldn't be good for Zhao Ping'er's wedding. Seeing Liang Jinxiao frowning, Zhao Yuner asked, "Mother, what's wrong? What are you thinking about?" Liang Jinxiao came back to his senses and said with a smile, "Nothing. I'm just worried that we won't be able to do a good job at the banquet tomorrow." Zhao Yuner chuckled and said, "Mother, I was wondering what you were worried about. It turns out that you were worried about this. Mother, it's fine. We can definitely do it well." Liang Jinxiao sighed slightly. "After all, we don't have much experience. We don't know if we can do it. Yuner, do you want to ask your grandmother to help? Your grandmother knows a lot." Zhao Yuner waved her hand. "Mother, forget it. Grandma can help, but she will definitely extort money or things from our family. Didn't they invite Mrs. Zhu? We can just ask her to help us. She's an old woman. How can she be worse than our grandmother? Your grandmother is a family member after all. She's an outsider. She definitely won't help us so wholeheartedly. How can we trouble her?" Zhao Yuner smiled. "Mother, you're thinking too much. To be honest, our grandmother isn't as reliable as Mrs. Zhu. Our grandmother is very jealous of our family's situation now. She probably can't wait for our family to not have a good life. Now that Sister Ping'er is getting married, she can do her best to help us arrange the banquet." This? Liang Jinxiao didn't know what to say. Chapter 1003. Then. Okay then. I can only trouble Auntie Chin. Mom, don't think about it. What's the point of thinking about it? It's just adding more trouble to yourself. Liang Jinxiao responded. She was like this. Sometimes she couldn't help but like to let her imagination run wild. After buying these things, Zhao Yuner took Xiao Mao back home. The family Qin people had their own arrangements. Zhao Yun'er's family just had to do their own things. Although they couldn't get involved in the family qin matters, Zhao Yun'er was still curious about what the family qin would be like. After buying the things, they returned to the village. Zhao Yun'er just bought the things in advance. The banquet would be held tomorrow. However, there were still a lot of things to do this afternoon. The dishes and things like that had to be prepared in advance. This way they wouldn't be too tired when they were busy tomorrow. For example, meatballs, meat pies and things like that. They had to be ready this afternoon or at night. There was also the chicken. The feathers had to be plucked in advance, cleaned and stewed tomorrow morning. As for the other dishes, they could just prepare them tomorrow. After Zhao Yun'er got the things back, she returned to her house. Dao stayed at home the whole morning. He practiced according to what Yili said yesterday. When Zhao Yun'er returned home, she found Dao in the room. Dao had fallen quite badly. "What's wrong, Dao?" Zhao Yun'er saw Dao lying on the bed and couldn't help but ask. "Mom?" Dao looked at Zhao Yun'er pitifully. "What's wrong? My little cutie?" Zhao Yun'er said. She walked over to Dao and rubbed Dao's little face. "Mom? Dao hurts? Hurts? Where does it hurt?" "My leg hurts." After speaking, Dao rolled up his pants, revealing his pink and tender calf. However, Dao's originally pink and tender calf was now bruised. It looked a little shocking. It seemed like the injury wasn't light. "Oh, what happened?" Zhao Yun'er asked with a frown. "Mom, I accidentally fell." "How did you fall for no reason?" "Uncle Handsome wanted me to practice stepping on a wooden stake. I accidentally stepped on it, so I fell from above." "Is that so?" Zhao Yun'er stared at Dao's injury. "Do you want Dao to practice in the future?" Dao frowned. I don't know. Mother, it hurts, it hurts." At this moment, Yili couldn't help but say, "Dao, Uncle Handsome told you before that it's not easy to learn how to fly. If you think it's too hard now and you want to give up, then just hang in there and give up now." After hearing Yili's words, Dao felt a sense of loss. In his heart, he wanted to be able to fly like Yili. However, he didn't think that it would be so painful to fall when he really practiced. Zhao Yun'er also responded, "Yes, Dao. Your Uncle Handsome is right. If you want to give up, then give up as soon as possible. Otherwise, it's very normal for you to bump into things like this later on." Dao pouted. "Mom?" Yili sighed. "Since you're a man, then you have to do this properly. Giving up halfway isn't something a man would do." Chapter 1004. When he heard Yili's words, Dao lowered his head in shame. It seemed that Uncle Handsome was disappointed in him. Dao thought about it. It was normal for Yili to be disappointed in him. After all, he had been boasting about wanting to learn how to fly in front of Uncle Handsome, but he couldn't take it after just a few days. "Uncle Handsome," Dao looked at Yili and muttered. "I'll do as you say. If you don't want to learn, I won't force you," Mu Lianfeng added. Dao lowered his head and thought for a moment. Then he said to Yili, "Uncle Handsome, if Dao wants to learn, then Dao should learn from Uncle Handsome. Dao won't be afraid of pain in the future. You can persevere." When he heard Dao's words, Yili's lips curled into a smile. "Since you're willing to learn, I'll do my best to teach you." "Thank you, Uncle Handsome." The corner of Zhao Yun'er's mouth also raised into a smile. She felt that Yili was right. Since he wanted to learn, then he should do his best to learn. There was no reason to give up halfway. It wasn't just this matter. Dao would more or less experience hardships when he grew up. If Dao gave up after suffering a little, then he wouldn't be able to grow. "All right then. Dao, Mother will apply some ointment on you. You'll be fine after a few days of rest," Zhao Yun'er said. Dao nodded. "Okay, Mother. Mother will do it for you now." "Okay." After Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, she rummaged through the box and took out the ointment. This ointment was left behind by Mu Lianfeng before he left. These things were prepared as a precaution against any eventuality. If someone in the family got hurt, she could take out the ointment as a precaution. It just so happened that these things that had been prepared were all put to use. Zhao Yun'er took out the ointment and applied it on Dao. Dao smiled and said to Dao, "Mother, this ointment feels so good." "It's cold." "Really?" "And then, so comfortable. Dao's leg doesn't hurt as much anymore," Dao said with a smile. It seemed that this ointment was quite effective. Sure enough, Mu Lianfeng's things were good stuff. "Uncle Handsome." Dao suddenly looked at Yili. After being called by Dao, Yili was startled and looked at Dao. "What is it, Dao?" "Uncle Beauty, how did you learn to fly when you first started? Did you fall down like Dao?" Yili was silent for a moment before saying, Of course, I fell down more than once. But I always got up to practice after falling down. Then Uncle Handsome, when you fell, didn't it hurt like Dowdu? Did you apply this cold ointment? Speaking of this, Yili suddenly fell silent. Thinking back to his past, he wasn't as lucky as Dowdu. Back then he was forced to practice qigong by his father, who was very strict with him. Every time he fell down during practice and hurt himself, his father would pull him to continue practicing. He wasn't like Zhao Yun'er, who cared about Dowdu. Now that he saw that Dowdu had Zhao Yun'er's gentle care, Yili was very envious. "What's wrong, Uncle Handsome?" Dowdu asked in a soft voice. "Nothing." Yili smiled bitterly. "I'm not as lucky as you. I didn't even get to apply ointment when I fell down when I was young." Dowdu looked at Yili sympathetically. "Uncle Handsome, you're so pitiful." Chapter 1005. That's right. Beautiful uncle, you're so pitiful. When you fall, you can't use the earthy ointment like Dowdu. There's someone who cares for you. Dowdu said in a soft voice. Yili raised his mouth again. "It's all right. You'll get used to it. Dowdu, you have to cherish your parents' love for you, understand?" Dowdu nodded heavily and replied, "I understand, beautiful uncle." At the mention of Dowdu's father, Dowdu's little brows furrowed slightly and he muttered something. Father has been away for a while. When will he be back?" This, Zhao Yun'er was silent for a moment. She herself wasn't sure. Mother doesn't know either, but he should be back soon. Oh. Dowdu's little eyes darkened and he looked a little disappointed. It seemed that he really missed Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun'er also hoped that Mu Lianfeng would hurry back. She wondered how he was doing in the capital. Yili's heart tightened when he heard Dowdu and Zhao Yun'er's conversation. If Mu Lianfeng came back, then he would have to leave. After all, Mu Lianfeng would definitely be unhappy when he saw him. Moreover, their family was very warm together. As an outsider, it wouldn't be right for him to come between them. He still had to recuperate for a few more days. When Mu Lianfeng came back, he would leave. In the afternoon, Zhao Yun'er went to the third branch to work. Mu Lan and Mu Hin followed her. Originally, Zhao Ping'er didn't like Mu Hin, but she was here to help her with the banquet. Moreover, because she was about to get married, Zhao Ping'er was in a very good mood. She couldn't wait to get married and become Xuanhuan's real wife. As long as they were not married, they were not husband and wife. There were too many variables. Zhao Ping'er was afraid that Xuanhuan would suddenly regret his decision. By the time they got married, it would be too late for Xuanhuan to regret. Zhao Ping'er was very excited at the thought of becoming Xuanhuan's wife. The closer the date was, the more obvious Zhao Ping'er's desire to get married was. When it was time for a woman to get married, she would still be reluctant to part with her family and act a little sad. However, Zhao Ping'er was different. Zhao Ping'er was always talking about whether time could pass faster. Seeing Zhao Ping'er like this, Zhao Yun'er could only roll her eyes. As for Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua, they could only sigh. They had raised such a grown-up daughter and she was about to get married. Initially, they were a little reluctant to part with her. However, looking at Zhao Ping'er now, she didn't seem to be reluctant to part with her parents at all. As the saying goes, a grown woman can't be kept at home. Zhao Ping'er was probably like this. It would be good for her to get married early. What? They could worry about that. After 2 days of work, Zhao Ping'er married into a family Qin family. It was quieter with one less person in the house. While Zhao Yun'er and the others were busy with work, Zhao Ping'er was holed up in the house. She had no intention of helping at all. When Liang Jinxiao saw this, he couldn't help but say, "Ping'er, if you don't have anything else to do, don't stay in the house. Come out and help." Zhao Ping'er pursed her lips unhappily. "Mother, why do you want me to help? It's not like you can't handle it." "Ping'er, even outsiders are here to help. It's your own business. Aren't you embarrassed to play by yourself and not care about anything?" Zhao Ping'er was unhappy and retorted, "Mother, how can you say that? If I'm busy, my hands will definitely not look good. Mother, I still want to get married prettily tomorrow." Chapter 1006. No one could argue with her when she decided to slack off. She made up so many excuses. Zhao Yun'er could not help but roll her eyes. This Zhao Ping'er was really interesting. She was lazy, but she still had to come up with so many excuses. However, thinking that Zhao Ping'er was disgusting her at home, she could only be disgusted for one day. She would be getting married tomorrow, so she would not be upset if she did not see her. "Mother, I'm telling the truth. It's not like you need my help." All right, let's not talk about you anymore. Go to the house and rest. Anyway, I can't count on you. Liang Jinxiao said helplessly. Some people really can't recognize themselves. Even if they take good care of their hands, what's the use? Looking at that face, I don't have any appetite anyway, Zhao Yun'er muttered. Coincidentally, Zhao Ping-er had already gone into the house and did not hear Zhao Yun'er's words. Otherwise she would definitely jump out and argue with Zhao Yun'er again. Liang Jinxiao hurried to Zhao Yun'er and said to Zhao Yun'er, Yun'er, if you want to say something, if Ping-er hears you, we'll probably quarrel again. Mother, are you still afraid that she'll be angry? I've never seen such a gluttonous and lazy woman. Zhao Yun'er could not help but shake her head. Why did Liang Jinxiao and Zhao Wenhua give birth to such a daughter? Sigh. At the mention of this, Liang Jinxiao also sighed deeply. What can we do? Ping-er is like this. I just hope that she'll become better in the future. Zhao Yun'er smiled. Mother, don't worry. Sister Ping-er will definitely become better in the future. With the guidance of her in-laws, I don't believe that Sister Ping-er can be as lazy as she is in our family. Liang Jinxiao agreed wholeheartedly with Zhao Yun'er's words. That's true. Her in-laws' family is different from her maiden family. When she's in their family, she has to be controlled by them. Now that you've become someone else's daughter-in-law, you don't have to take care of the household chores. You have to be filial to your elders and serve your in-laws. Otherwise, if you're bullied at your in-laws' house, we won't be able to say anything. Zhao Yun'er sneered. She was looking forward to seeing what Zhao Ping-er would be like when she married into the family Qin. The Qin couple looked alright on the surface, but Zhao Yun'er knew that these two people were also weirdos and definitely not easy to deal with. She was polite to Zhao Ping-er now because she was greedy for Zhao Yun'er's things. Once Zhao Ping-er married into the family Qin family and the dowry was given, then Zhao Ping-er would be at the mercy of their family. Of course, the more miserable Zhao Ping-er's life was in the future, the happier Zhao Yun'er would be. She couldn't deal with this kind of B***tch, but there were plenty of people who could do it for her. Yun'er, I'll go get the peeled longans. Liang Jinxiao called out, then walked into the room of the third branch with a small wooden basin. When holding a banquet, in addition to some dishes, there were also desserts. When the time came, the longans would be stewed, and a bowl would be placed on each table for everyone to eat. Longans were a delicacy in the countryside. Usually they could only be eaten on such occasions. After all, longans were more expensive and not cheap. Not everyone could afford it. Mother, go ahead. Zhao Yun'er responded. Peeling longans was also a huge project. With so many longans, it would probably take half an hour to peel all of them. When they arrived at the room of the third branch, Zhao Ping-er saw that Liang Jinxiao was peeling longans and hurried over. Mother, are you peeling longans? Yes. Liang Jinxiao responded. Chapter 1007. Zhao Ping-er suddenly became very attentive. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Ping-er with some confusion. Ping-er, didn't you just say that you don't want to help with the chores? You need to take good care of your hands. Otherwise they won't look good when you get married tomorrow. Zhao Ping-er smiled embarrassedly. Mother, that's washing vegetables and cutting dishes. It hurts my hands. Peeling longans won't hurt my hands at all. Liang Jinxiao nodded and thought that it was true. Zhao Ping-er continued to be very attentive. Mother, you can go out and do your work. Leave this to me. I promise to help you peel them well. Liang Jinxiao glanced at Zhao Ping-er and thought that since Zhao Ping-er was willing to work, it was a good thing. There was still a lot of work outside. He would leave this to Zhao Ping-er so that he could go out and help out more. Thus, he nodded to Zhao Ping-er and said, Okay Ping-er, I'll leave this to you. Don't worry, Mother. I'll definitely do it well. This was not a difficult task. It only needed to take some time. Liang Jinxiao agreed. He went out to help with other things. Zhao Yun'er saw Liang Jinxiao come out and asked curiously, Mother, how did you finish peeling the longans so quickly? Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, It's not that I finished peeling them. It's your sister Ping-er who helped to peel them. Sister Ping-er is helping? Zhao Yun'er frowned. Zhao Ping-er said that she would not help a second ago, but the next second she stepped in and helped to peel the longans. According to Zhao Yun'er's understanding of Zhao Ping-er, that woman Zhao Ping-er must be up to no good. Mother, don't let Sister Ping-er eat all of them while she's peeling them. Liang Jinxiao's lips twitched. Yun'er, that can't be right? Mother, what's there to not know? It's not like you don't know what Sister Ping-er is like. I don't think so. If he ate it all, what would the customers eat tomorrow? He shouldn't be so insensible. Liang Jinxiao muttered. Although he said so, he was actually a little worried. Therefore, she hurried into the house to see how Zhao Ping-er was peeling it. In fact, it was somewhat similar to what Zhao Yun'er had guessed. Zhao Ping sat in the house, peeling and eating from time to time. However, Zhao Ping was smart. She didn't spit the shell out on the ground. Instead, she put it in her pocket. This way, no one would be able to find out after she ate it. If Liang Jinxiao hadn't secretly glanced at it, he probably wouldn't have found out. Seeing that Zhao Ping was secretly eating, Liang Jinxiao couldn't help but sigh in his heart. How could his daughter be like this? She was really insensible. She was already so old, but she didn't think about anything. She was really making her parents worried sick. Liang Jinxiao walked up to Zhao Ping and said to Zhao Ping with a sullen face, Ping, I asked you to peel the shell, not to eat it. You said that you were peeling and eating at the same time. By the time you finished peeling all the shells, would you have eaten half of them? Zhao Ping didn't expect Liang Jinxiao to suddenly barge in. She frowned and said to Liang Jinxiao, Mother, why did you come in again? You didn't even make a sound. You were like a ghost. You scared the hell out of me. Liang Jinxiao was angered by Zhao Ping. This girl, what was she talking about? She didn't pay attention at all. What did she mean by she looked like a ghost? Which part of her looked like a ghost? Wasn't she cursing someone? It sounded very unlucky. Chapter 1008. Mother I. Zhao Ping knew that Liang Jinxiao had seen her eating secretly. She lowered her head and did not know what to say for a moment. Hey, you little girl. I asked you to peel something, but you ate it secretly. If you finish it, what are you going to feed the guests tomorrow? Mother, isn't there more? Zhao Ping muttered unwillingly. There is more, but there isn't a lot. If you eat too much, there won't be enough for the guests. We didn't buy that much. Liang Jinxiao said in a lecturing tone. Because Liang Jinxiao was rarely strict with Zhao Ping felt very wronged and uncomfortable when he suddenly said this. Mother, didn't I just eat something? If you talk about me like that, I won't eat any more. Zhao Ping pouted her mouth and looked unwilling to give up. Liang Jinxiao sighed deeply again. Hey, okay. You little girl, just don't eat it later. Okay, I know, Mother. After Liang Jinxiao finished nagging Zhao Ping, he went out again. He thought that Zhao Ping would not continue to eat in the future. He felt a lot in his heart. What Liang Jinxiao did not expect was that Zhao Ping was extraordinarily thick-skinned. After Liang Jinxiao left, Zhao Ping peeled the longans, but still secretly ate a few. Zhao Ping did not care. If there was less, wouldn't it be fine if there was less on the table? After Liang Jinxiao left the house, he continued to help. At this time, Li Chuiying and Feng Xianxia came over. Li Chuiying smiled and said to Liang Jinxiao, Third sister-in-law, you are really busy. Do you need me and your sister-in-law to help? Liang Jinxiao glanced at Li Chuiying and Feng Xianxia. She hadn't expected her sister-in-law and second sister-in-law to be so kind as to come over. She smiled a little embarrassedly. Eldest sister-in-law, second sister-in-law, it's not good to trouble you, is it? Li Chuiying hurriedly waved his hand and said, Third sister-in-law, what are you saying? We are a family. What is there to be good about? It's only right that we help each other. Feng Xianxia also followed behind and echoed, Yes, third sister-in-law, your family is too busy. It's okay for me and your second sister-in-law to help. Is this okay? Liang Jinxiao was still a little embarrassed to trouble the two of them. Why not? Your sister-in-law and I happen to be free. With 2 more people working, we can finish the work earlier, don't you think so? Liang Jinxiao pondered for a moment. That was indeed the case. However, it was not good to ask for help after all. Moreover, Li Chuiying and Feng Xianxia's sudden kindness made Zhao Yun feel strange. Hence, Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun and asked for Zhao Yun's opinion first. Yun, your eldest aunt and second aunt said that they are coming to help us. Zhao Yun looked at Li Chuiying and Feng Xianxia. As the saying goes, one who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. She didn't believe that these 2 people came to help on the account that they were relatives. Perhaps they had some ulterior motives? Zhao Yun guessed that this matter had something to do with the banquet held by her family. After all, they had separated from old Zhao's family. As an independent family, old Zhao's family only gave a gift money. Hence, they were very fond of wine and would only invite Zhao Baoshan to the table. No one else would have a share. If their family didn't invite other members of old Zhao's family over, these people wouldn't be able to eat. Chapter 1009. After all, the smell of the food would definitely be very enticing. Most of old Zhao's family members were gluttons. Now that Li Chuiying and Feng Xianxia were here to help, they knew very well that if they helped, Zhao Yun wouldn't refuse to let them eat. They could help when they had nothing to do. When the time came they could eat delicious food. It was definitely worth it. This wasn't a losing deal, so of course they would do it. Xiaoyun smiled at Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia. Eldest auntie, second auntie, you're really enthusiastic today. For some reason, Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia felt very guilty when they saw Zhao Yun'er's smile. This, listen to what you said. It's only right for eldest auntie and second auntie to come and help. Your sister Ping is getting married. That's a big deal. As aunts, we naturally have to help. That's right. Although we're separated, we're still a family. You have too few people. I'm afraid you won't be able to handle it. That's why we're here to help. When the time comes, you'll have more free time. The two of them echoed each other and were having a lot of fun talking. The corners of Zhao Yun'er's mouth couldn't help but twitch. Interesting, really interesting. If one were to say that these two ants were stupid, sometimes they were really smart. However, Zhao Yun'er didn't care. Let them say whatever they wanted. If he wanted to take advantage of her, that was not going to happen. I didn't expect eldest auntie and second auntie to be so enthusiastic. If I had known, I wouldn't have asked outsiders for help. But now that they've already asked for help and they took the time to come over, it's not good to let them go. So, eldest auntie, second auntie, we appreciate your kindness, but we don't need you to do anything now. Zhao Yun'er's words were very obvious. She was rejecting Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia's help. Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia were a little anxious. Yun'er, wouldn't it be faster if we had 2 more people to help us? Zhao Yun'er chuckled. There's not much work to do. We'll be done in a while. But, first auntie, second auntie, if you have nothing else to do, you can rest at home. Third sister-in-law, you see? Your eldest sister-in-law and I want to help. Why doesn't your girl let us? That's right. Could it be that you despise us or do you have something against us? Third sister-in-law, don't treat our good intentions as ill intentions. Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia were arguing in Liang Jinxiao's ear, which gave Liang Jinxiao a headache. What she didn't understand was why Zhao Yun'er wouldn't let Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia help. She knew that Zhao Yun'er must have thought of something. Otherwise she wouldn't have stopped them. Zhao Yun'er frowned in annoyance. First auntie, second auntie, it's understandable that the two of you want to help. But your eagerness inevitably makes people feel that you're plotting something. She was talking to them nicely and giving them face. Since they didn't want to listen, then she didn't need to be polite. After Zhao Yun'er said this, Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia were speechless for a moment. What are we plotting? You silly girl, what are you talking about? Good intentions don't pay off. Haha, Zhao Yun'er laughed coldly. First auntie, second auntie, that's enough. You don't have to pretend anymore. There's really no benefit for you to come back and help our family. Chapter 10:10. You silly girl, we're just helping out. Do you think we're the same as you? How did we take advantage of your family? Li Chuang said angrily with a red face. That's right. We were kind enough to help you, but you said we were taking advantage of your family. What do you mean? Feng Xianxia also said with a red face. Eldest aunt, second aunt, why are you so agitated? Since you're not, that's even better. Eldest aunt, second aunt, since the two of you didn't help us to take advantage of us, then let's make a deal now. When the time comes, you can't eat the dishes in my kitchen. Zhao Yun'er gave them a heads up in advance. If the two of them really wanted to get up later, she wanted to see if they still had the nerve to be embarrassed. Sure enough, after Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia suddenly stared at each other, not knowing what to say. Yun'er, silly girl, how can you be like this? Your eldest aunt and I are helping you, but you don't even give us food. Isn't this too much? Li Chuang asked with a trembling voice. That's right. We don't want anything else. You can't even bear to give us food? Yun'er, silly girl, this isn't right. Feng Xianxia said with some reluctance. Zhao Yun'er sneered. Eldest aunt, second aunt, our family didn't ask you to come over to help. We already said that we don't need your help. Since you insist, then you shouldn't ask for food. This shows that you didn't come over to help us without asking for anything. You still want to take our family's things. You silly girl, that's too much. How dare you say that about us? If you don't even give us food, then what help do we have? That's right. Hearing Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia's nagging, Zhao Yun'er really couldn't stand it anymore. First aunt, second aunt, I beg you please spare me. Our family didn't ask for your help. Since that's the case, you can go about your business. You don't have to worry about our family's affairs. Liang Jinxiao sighed and said to Li Chuang and Feng Xianxia, eldest sister-in-law, second sister-in-law, we have enough people in our family. You two don't need to help. Third sister-in-law, why do you say that? I'll listen to Yun. Liang Jinxiao lowered his head and replied. You're an elder. Why are you listening to a little girl? You have no opinions at all. In the face of Li Chuiying and Liang Jinxiao's nagging, Liang Jinxiao did not say anything. Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxiao were helpless. After nagging for a long time, Zhao Yun'er and Liang Jinxiao ignored them, so they had no choice but to give up. Seeing Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia enter the room angrily, Liang Jinxiao went to Zhao Yun'er and couldn't help but ask, Yun, actually, it's okay to ask your first aunt and second aunt to come over and help, right? Just give them some food. When the time comes, there will be a lot of food left in our house. It's okay to give them some more food. Zhao Yun'er chuckled, thinking that Liang Jinxiao was too naive. Mother, do you really think that it's okay to just give them some food? Liang Jinxiao asked doubtfully, isn't it? Chapter 10-11. With Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia's greedy personalities, a little bit of food wouldn't satisfy them. Seeing that there was a lot of food left over at their family's banquet, they would definitely think about it. Really? Liang Jinxiao still didn't quite believe it. Mom, don't think so much. Anyway, whether it's true or not, we don't need their help now to avoid being taken advantage of. Liang Jinxiao sighed. All right then. She couldn't say anything, so she listened to Zhao Yun'er. This daughter of hers was quite accurate. Under normal circumstances, she wouldn't let people bully their family too much. Even if they offended Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia, so be it. This wasn't the first time they had offended them, so they weren't afraid at all. There would be a lot of work to be done tomorrow. In addition to preparing these dishes, they also had to prepare tables and chairs. When the time came, old Zhao's courtyard would definitely be full. For a banquet of 10 tables, they would have to prepare 10 tables. Their family only had one table, so they had to borrow the rest of the tables and chairs. However, this was the case for banquets in the village. It was impossible for every family to have more than one table and chair. When it came to a big event like a banquet, they had to borrow each other's tables and chairs. When they returned the tables and chairs, they just had to give some candy, peanuts, or melon seeds to express their gratitude. Zhao Wenhua had already discussed with a few families in the village about the tables and chairs. They just had to bring them back when the time came. In addition to the tables and chairs, they had to serve the dishes. For a banquet of 10 tables, there would be a lot of people, so they also needed people to help serve the dishes. Zhao Yun'er's family planned to let Zhao Tianan serve the dishes. Her brother was tall and strong, so he would definitely be able to do this kind of work. The other one was Zhao Tianhu, who volunteered to help serve the dishes. Zhao Yun'er naturally agreed. It just so happened that Zhao Tianhu helped, so she had an excuse to ask him to stay for dinner. Otherwise, Zhao Tianhu would be embarrassed to come over to eat if he saw that the rest of old Zhao's family didn't eat. With 2 people serving the dishes, it was more or less enough. Yun'er, I'll go and borrow a furnace. Liang Jinxiao said. There were only 2 pots at home, which would definitely not be enough when the time came. He would have to borrow a stove to use. When the time came, the chicken soup could be stewed directly in the stove and wouldn't occupy the pot. Mother, who are you going to borrow it from? Zhao Yun'er asked. I heard that your young mistress's family has it. I'll go over and ask if she can lend it to us, Liang Jinxiao said. When she heard that it was Zhao Yun'er's eldest grandmother, Zhao Yun'er felt that it was most likely impossible. It would be strange if Madame Hu was willing to lend it. Seeing Zhao Yun'er's reaction, Liang Jinxiao could not help but ask, What's wrong, Yun'er? Zhao Yun'er smiled and shook her head. Mother, it's nothing. Mother, other than my young mistress's family, is there no other family that has a stove? Liang Jinxiao thought for a moment. Other families definitely have it, but I don't know who has it. If you want to know, you have to go and ask. Why don't you go directly to your young mistress's house and see if she can lend it to us? Zhao Yun'er sighed. Since that was the case, she naturally couldn't say anything. Mother, you can go and borrow it, but I don't think young mistress will lend it to us. It can't be. It's just a stove. Your young mistress shouldn't be so stingy, right? Liang Jinxiao asked with a frown. I don't know, Mother. Maybe she will. You go and ask first. If she doesn't want to lend it to us, then we don't need it. All right then. Liang Jinxiao nodded. He had to ask first and give it a try. Chapter 10-12. If she had a stove at home and someone came to borrow it from her, she would definitely lend it to them. They were relatives after all. If she didn't lend them such a small thing, she would really lose face. Of course, Liang Jinxiao was thinking on the bright side, but Zhao Yun'er didn't. After all, Madame Hu had quarreled with their family before. It was normal for her not to lend them the stove. Liang Jinxiao went to Madame Hu's house with a tentative attitude and told her about borrowing the stove. Madame Hu didn't directly refuse to lend it to them. Instead, she talked to Liang Jinxiao about her conditions. Her conditions weren't too excessive. She just wanted them to give a bowl of leftover meat dishes to her family after the banquet. This was something that Zhao Yun'er's family could definitely do. Liang Jinxiao felt that it was acceptable and agreed. To Madame Hu, a bowl of meat dishes was worth at least 10 copper coins. She wouldn't lose anything if she borrowed the stove. Anyone would be willing to get a bowl of meat dishes for free. Seeing Liang Jinxiao bring the stove back, Zhao Yun'er suddenly felt as if she had seen a ghost. "Mother, young mistress actually lent it to us?" Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "Sai Yun'er, it can't be considered as lending it to us. Your young mistress didn't agree at first. Later on she said that if we were to hold a banquet we would have to give them a bowl of meat dishes." After Zhao Yun'er heard this, she couldn't help but snort coldly. She has the nerve to ask for an exorbitant price. She asked for a bowl of meat dishes just to borrow something. Liang Jinxiao was equally helpless. "Yun'er, there's no choice. If she doesn't want to lend it to us, we won't lend it to her. If we borrow it from someone else, we'll definitely be embarrassed and have to give them something. Let's just give them a bowl of leftover meat dishes." Zhao Yun'er thought about it and felt that it made sense. Fortunately, they only asked for vegetables and didn't ask for an exorbitant price. "All right, mother, that's settled then." "All right, mother, put the stove in the house. We still need it tomorrow." Yeah. Zhao Yun'er said and began to prepare to wash the chicken. The chicken had already been slaughtered, plucked a few feathers and was about to be cut open. Zhao Yun'er rolled up her sleeves. She had to roll them up high so that her sleeves wouldn't get wet. After Zhao Yun'er rolled up her sleeves, the golden bracelet that was originally worn on her hand appeared in front of everyone. Mu Lan and Mu Hin were momentarily blinded by the shiny golden bracelet on Zhao Yun'er's wrist. Mu Lan's eyes were attracted by the golden bracelet on Zhao Yun'er's wrist. She asked Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er, your bracelet is so beautiful. Is it gold?" Zhao Yun'er glanced at the golden bracelet on her wrist. The corners of her mouth curved slightly, and she nodded in response. "Yeah, it's gold." Mulan looked at Zhao Yun'er with envy in her eyes. "Yun'er, it's so beautiful. Such a big golden bracelet must be worth a lot of money, right?" Zhao Yun'er nodded. "It should be worth a lot of money." However, she didn't know the exact price. After all, it was a gift from Yili. She also didn't have the nerve to ask Yili how much he paid for the bracelet. "I'm not sure either." "Yun'er, was it a gift from Master Shitsi?" Mulan gossiped and asked. After asking, Mulan continued to mutter to herself, "AI, look at how I'm asking. It must be a gift from Master Shitsi. Other than Master Shitsi, who else could give you such an expensive gift?" Chapter 10:13. If she were to say that Yili had given this to her, how would Mulan react? In order not to let Mulan think too much, Zhao Yun'er did not explain and let Mulan think that Mu Lianfeng had given it to her. Mulan stared at Zhao Yun'er's bracelet and continued to look at it. Her expression was full of envy. "Yun'er, you're the luckiest woman I've ever seen. You're so lucky to be with Master Shitsi. Master Shitsi is of noble status. If you're with him in the future, no one will bully you." Zhao Yun'er smiled and said, "Sister-in-law Mulan, you don't have to be envious of me. Isn't Brother Eru also quite good? You have to cherish him." Mulan nodded. "Eru's quite good. Apart from not having a status like Master Shitsi, he's not bad at all." Zhao Yun'er smiled. "That's enough. These are all external things. As long as Eru treats you and the child well, the most important thing is that your family is happy together." Zhao Yun'er knew that it was normal for Mulan to be envious when she saw her living condition with a man like Mu Lianfeng. As long as it was a woman, she would probably want her man to be outstanding and perfect. However, Zhao Yun'er still hoped that Mulan would set her mind straight and not neglect what she had because she was envious of others. Actually, Mulan did not know that she was also envious of her. No matter what, Zhu Eru was a good husband and a good father. Mulan was Zhu Eru's wife and the two of them could be together legitimately. Although they were not that rich, they were happy together as a family and their lives were getting better and better. But compared to Mulan, she was a far cry. Until now, she still didn't have a proper identity, and she could foresee the difficulties she would face when she was with Mu Lianfeng in the future. In fact, if she could, she would rather Mu Lianfeng be an ordinary person. When the two of them were together, they didn't have to think too much. As long as they worked hard, their days would get better and better. Mu Hin quickly responded, Sis Yuner, sis is right. Brother-in-law is a good man. You don't know how many people envy you for marrying a good man. If I were to get married, I would also want to marry someone like brother-in-law. After being coaxed by Zhao Yuner and Mu Hin, Mulan felt very happy. That's enough, stop praising him. If you continue to praise Eru, he will be praised to the heavens. Mulan mocked Zhao Yuner and Mu Hin, but there was a smile on her face. Sister-in-law Mulan, I'm not praising him. I'm telling the truth. That's right, sis. Brother-in-law is a good man. It's not too much to praise him to the heavens. Haha, Zhao Pinger finished peeling the longan and walked out of the house. She had wanted to greet Liang Jinxiao. Then she saw the golden bracelet on Zhao Yuner's wrist and her eyes lit up. She walked towards Zhao Yuner. Zhao Pinger's attitude suddenly became much better. She smiled at Zhao Yuner and said, Sister Yuner, where did you get the golden bracelet on your wrist? After Zhao Yuner heard Zhao Pinger's words, she couldn't help but frown. Why did this woman come out of the house and see the golden bracelet on her wrist? Chapter 10:14. Could it be that she had taken a fancy to her bracelet? Zhao Yuner's frown deepened. Thinking about it, this was indeed a possibility. Somewhat displeased, she said to Zhao Pinger, Sister Pinger, why do you care so much? What does it have to do with you where I got this bracelet? In any case, it wasn't stolen or snatched. Zhao Pinger pursed her lips. Zhao Yuner, why are you so petty? I'm just asking a question. Ask a question and you're not telling me? Zhao Yuner sneered. Sister Pinger, what's the point of asking this question? What does it have to do with you where I got it? If you don't want to tell me, then don't tell me. Even if you don't tell me, I can guess that Lord Air must have given it to you. Zhao Yuner rolled her eyes. Sister Pinger, since you already know, why are you still asking? You? Zhao Pinger angrily glared at Zhao Yuner before suddenly suppressing her anger. Zhao Pinger's eyes turned, and she moved closer to Zhao Yuner. She said to Zhao Yuner, Younger Sister Yuner, I have something to discuss with you. Sister Pinger, if you have something to say, just say it. Zhao Yuner replied indifferently. This Zhao Pinger had learned how to make a fuss. Zhao Pinger smiled embarrassedly and then said, Yuner, your golden bracelet is really beautiful. I'm getting married tomorrow. When I get married, can you lend me your golden bracelet for a day? After I get married, I'll return it to you. What do you think? After Zhao Pinger finished speaking, she looked nervously at Zhao Yuner, waiting for Zhao Yuner's reply. When Zhao Yuner heard this, she couldn't help but snort softly. This Zhao Pinger, she didn't know where she got the cheek to actually have the nerve to open her mouth and say such things to her. Yuner, just lend it to me for a day. I definitely won't break your golden bracelet, and I'm not asking you for it and not returning it to you. I just want to make myself more beautiful when I get married tomorrow. Yuner, you can't even bear to this, can you? Zhao Pinger looked at Zhao Yuner anxiously. Without waiting for Zhao Yuner's reply, Zhao Yuner, we're sisters. You can't trust others, but do you think I can't trust you? After saying this, Zhao Pinger's gaze landed on Zhao Yuner's bracelet. Usually Zhao Pinger would definitely not say such things. This time, because she wanted to beg her, she and Zhao Yuner acted like sisters. If these words were to be said, how could Zhao Pinger not want to vomit? Haha, Zhao Yuner sneered, Sister Pinger, no one can win against you when it comes to talking. But you know that this bracelet was given to me by Master Shitzi. Master Shitzi told me not to lend it to others. Yuner, other people are other people. We're sisters, so am I other people? Why aren't you other people? Yuner, just lend it to me. Lend it to me for a day, please. Zhao Pinger was like a pile of dog poop. Once she stuck to it, she couldn't get rid of it. Zhao Yuner's frown deepened, and her face was filled with disgust and impatience. Zhao Pinger, are you done yet? I won't lend it to you. Don't bother me. There are so many things that I can't finish, but you're here to meddle. Zhao Yuner said unhappily. Chapter 10:15. Little Ping, why do you want to borrow it? Isn't it good enough to wear the wedding dress? You don't need the gold bracelet to embellish it. Liang Jinxiao said. Zhao Pinger shook her head and said, Mother, that's different. The wedding dress is the wedding dress and the gold bracelet is the gold bracelet. The wedding dress looks good, but if I can wear such a golden bracelet when I get married, then others will see it and it will be very impressive. Liang Jinxiao said with a frown. Ping, if you wear the gold bracelet, others won't see it. It's not in your sleeve. Mother, I can roll up my sleeve. Just like Yuner now, won't others see it? After Zhao Pinger finished speaking, Liang Jinxiao's expression was very complicated. Zhao Yun couldn't help but roll her eyes. This idiot actually wanted to do this. Wasn't she afraid of being beaten up for flaunting her wealth? Forget it. Ping, what's the point of doing this? You'll be laughed at by others if you do it. Zhao Ping pouted. Mother, you're just biased towards Zhao Yun, not letting them lend it to me. Mother, I'm about to get married and you're still biased. Zhao Yun looked at Zhao Ping as if she was looking at a retard. Zhao Yun, I beg you don't talk nonsense. Even if mother says it, I won't lend it to you. Why are you so stingy? So what if I'm stingy? You're too evil. Idiot. Zhao Yun glanced at Zhao Ping and complained. She really didn't want to talk to a retard. It was really tiring to communicate with them. Zhao Yun, forget it if you don't want to lend it to me. Do you think I care? When I have the money, I'll buy it myself. Zhao Ping said angrily, then turned and entered the room of the third branch. There was a reason for her to say this. After all, she was still planning to set up a stall with Ma Xiaofeng. Once he succeeded, he would definitely be able to earn a lot of money. When she had money, she would buy all kinds of jewelry to dress herself up. After dressing herself up beautifully, Xuanhuan would definitely like her when he saw her. Zhao Yun looked at Zhao Ping's back as she left. She felt that Zhao Ping was just daydreaming. Yun, don't take out the golden bracelet on your hand so easily in the future. What if someone steals it from you? Mulan thought for a while and reminded Zhao Yun. After all, Zhao Yun's bracelet was not ordinary. Zhao Yun's golden bracelet was really too eye-catching. Okay, my sister-in-law. I know. If I don't wash it, I won't easily reveal it. In the afternoon, the third branch was as busy as a raging fire. The construction of the foundation of Zhao Yun's house had been temporarily suspended for the past 2 days. After all, Zhao Wenhua had to be busy at home and couldn't handle the construction of the land. At 3 or 4 o'clock, Zhao Wenhua and Zhao Tianan came back from outside. When Zhao Tianan saw Mu Hin, he was slightly excited. He went up to Mu Hin and smiled at Mu Hin. Mu Hin, you're here to help too? Mu Hin nodded heavily, but there was a touch of shyness on her face. She didn't dare to look at Zhao Tianan. Thank you for coming to our house to help. Zhao Tianan said gratefully. You're welcome. Mu Hin said shyly. Zhao Tianan squatted together. I'll help too. Zhao Yun didn't say anything to Zhao Tianan and let Zhao Tianan help. Chapter 10:16. His younger brother didn't seem to be good at picking up girls. He was really bad at picking up girls. How could he please a girl like this? He thought that if Zhao Tianan was also interested in Mu Hin, should he teach his younger brother how to pick up girls? After all, Zhao Tianan was really too old-fashioned and dull. When they were almost done, Mulan went back. Zhao Yun didn't ask them to stay for dinner. After all, Mu Hin had to go back and prepare food for Zhu Eru and the children. Because there were many ingredients, Zhao Yun prepared a more sumptuous meal for dinner. The meat was directly fried on a plate and there was also meat pie soup. When Zhao Yun saw the meat pie soup, she couldn't help but swallow her saliva. She liked to eat this kind of food, but it was more troublesome to make. So she didn't get to eat it often. This time, because it was a banquet, she specially put in a lot of effort to make it. There weren't many ingredients, but she had to cut the meat into small pieces and then use a small hammer to hammer the meat into a pie shape. This took a lot of effort. In addition, after blowing the meat into a pie shape, she spread a layer of flour on it. When eating, she directly added a little oil to the pot, boiled some water, and then put the meat pie in. When the meat pie was cooked, she added other seasonings. Finally, when she took it out of the pot, she just had to sprinkle a handful of chopped green onions. However, the meat pie made was very chewy and tasted better than ordinary meat. Because there were many preparations, Zhao Yun's family also ate a lot. The meat pie didn't come out of the pot, but it emitted a strong fragrance. The third branch of the family ate happily, but old Zhao's family didn't eat well. They didn't prepare much food for dinner. It was just some wild vegetables without oil. Even the rice was mixed with some miscellaneous grains. There was no white rice to eat. From time to time, the fragrance from Zhao Yun's kitchen made old Zhao's family hungry. Li Chuanying couldn't help but swallow his saliva. When he thought that Zhao Yun's family could eat good food, but they couldn't, Li Chuanying panicked. He originally planned to help so that he could eat. Now because of Zhao Yun he couldn't eat now. Mom, our food is really bad. When can we buy some meat? Li Chuanying swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva and asked xuanhuan. Eat. You don't need to pay. We don't have money now and you still want to eat meat. Why don't you go eat shit? Li Chuanying retorted indignantly. Mother, who would eat shit? As long as they don't eat shit. Meat? Ah. Xuanhuan snorted. Then you're smart now. I thought you would say that shit tastes better. The other people at the table couldn't help but snicker. Especially the first branch. Feng Xianxia felt proud when she saw that Li Chuiying was so familiar with Xuanhuan. This idiot. She should be scolded. Xinpan didn't have much of an appetite. After hearing Xuanhuan's words, she couldn't eat any more. A country bumpkin was indeed a country bumpkin. Even when eating at the dining table, they could still talk about eating shit. Could it be that they were not afraid that others would not be able to eat it? However, Xuanhuan was her elder, so Xinpan couldn't scold Xuanhuan. No matter how uncomfortable she felt, she suppressed it. Chapter 10:17. Country bumpkins were a characteristic of country bumpkins, especially old Zhao's family. He could tolerate it only if they didn't eat well, but he couldn't stand their nauseating chatter. She would return to her maternal home in a few days to recuperate. Fortunately, she didn't have to endure it for too long. She just had to wait for Zhao Tianlong to pass the scholarly examinations. She would have something to look forward to and she wouldn't feel too hopeless. Mother, what are you saying? Li Chuiying felt very embarrassed after being scolded by Xuanhuan. I'm speaking in human language. Don't tell me you don't understand. Li Chuiying pursed her lips and muttered, Mother? In front of so many people, her mother was really too much. She spoke without thinking. She didn't hold back at all and didn't give her any face at all. Although she knew that Xuanhuan was used to speaking like this in front of the whole family, she still felt uncomfortable. Mother, can you stop talking? You eat sh*t all day and I can't eat any more. Zhao Xinhui threw her chopsticks away and complained angrily to Xuanhuan. Okay. It's Mother's fault. Mother won't talk about it, okay? Xuanhuan saw that Zhao Xinhui was about to get angry, so she quickly shut her mouth and said. Zhao Xinhui still snorted unhappily. The food at home is so disgusting. Third brother's food smells so good. Mother, I want to eat third brother's food. Xuanhuan looked at Zhao Xinhui helplessly. Mother wants to eat it too, but I can't. Your third brother and third sister-in-law are very petty. They won't let us eat it. Zhao Xinhui's expression was cold and she didn't speak. Xuanhuan quickly continued to coax her. Alright how about this? Mother will buy a caddy of meat tomorrow and let you eat it alone. Only then did Zhao Xinhui's mood improve. Mother, really? Of course it's true. Mother, alright then. Zhao Xinhui seemed to accept reluctantly. The other members of old Zhao's family were not happy. Mother, can we eat even if little sister eats it? Why don't you buy an extra caddy of meat while you're at it? Li Chuiying said unwillingly. Just thinking about what Xuanhuan had done made him angry. How could she do this? Zhao Xinhui didn't say anything when she brought it up and scolded her, but she was the one who brought it up. What are you talking about? Xuanhuan glared at Li Chuiying again. You talk too much. The others didn't say anything but you did. Your little sister's body is weak and needs to be nourished. What are you guys yelling about? With that, Xuanhuan continued to glare at Li Chuiying and said, Hey, if you want to eat meat, you have to wait until Jing'er gets married. She'll send money over as a gift before we have the money to buy meat. Now that the family is almost emptied, we should save as much as we can. At the mention of Zhao Jing'er's marriage, Xuanhuan glanced at Zhao Jing'er. Didn't you say that young Master Zheng was going to marry Jing'er? We entertained them with chicken and meat, but now there's not even a trace of them. We probably won't be able to recoup the money we've invested. Xuanhuan said angrily. She was very displeased and her tone was very harsh and had a hint of sarcasm. After she said that, the expressions of the second branch didn't look too good. Zheng Qian didn't mention this at first because he was very anxious. Now that Xuanhuan had mocked him, he felt even worse. Chapter 10:18. Xuanhuan snorted. Alright, if he really wanted to marry her, he would have come to our house to talk about it a long time ago. Why would he wait until now? I'm guessing that this marriage is most likely a failure. The reason why Lord Zheng hasn't rejected him yet is that he has asked a matchmaker to find a girl from another family. As long as a girl agrees, Zheng Qian won't come to Jing. After Xuanhuan said that, the second branch fell silent. In fact, they had the same guess as Xuanhuan. If he really wanted to marry her, he would have come to talk about it with the betrothal gifts. But even so, the second branch was still looking forward to it. As long as Zheng Qian didn't give them an official reply, it meant that it was possible. Zheng Qian was such a good man, and it was hard to find a girl like him. Otherwise, the second branch of the old Zhao family would have asked the matchmaker to find another family for Zhao Xinhui. Mom, it hasn't been decided yet. Jing is a good girl and she's very pretty. It's rare to find a girl like Jing in the nearby villages, right? What Xuanhuan thought about it. That was true. Not to mention other things, Zhao Jing's face was really impeccable. It was very beautiful. Haha, let's wait and see. If Lord Jing doesn't come, you'll cry. What Xuanhuan said sarcastically. The second branch sat straight with a touch of blush on their faces, especially Zhao Jing. She lowered her head under the table. She might as well find a hole and bury herself in it. Seeing the second branch's face being slapped, the generous person felt a burst of joy in his heart. Especially Feng Xianxia. Before, Li Chuanying thought that Zhao Jing could get married, so he always showed off in front of her. His daughter was going to marry a good man and live a happy life with him in the future. During that time, Feng Xianxia was annoyed by Li Chuanying, but she didn't know how to scold Li Chuanying. Now the reality had changed and she was slapped in the face. How could she not be happy? Go ahead and show off. This is what happens when you show off. She wanted to see if Li Chuanying would still show off in front of her. Feng Xianxia added insult to injury. Second sister-in-law, what mother said is not unreasonable. You better not expect too much. Hurry up and find another husband for Jing. Don't delay it. After Feng Xianxia finished speaking, Li Chuanying glared at her angrily, knowing that Feng Xianxia's words were laced with jealousy. Sister-in-law, this is Jing's business. You don't have to worry about it. Oh, second sister-in-law, what are you talking about? I'm also Jing's aunt. I will definitely worry about Jing's marriage. Feng Xianxia said with a fake smile. Li Chuanying sneered. She was obviously making fun of her family, but she made it sound so nice. But then again, if Yun didn't get involved in Jing's marriage, it would probably be successful. Feng Xianxia said. The reason why she said this was to make the second branch angry and sow discord between the second branch and Zhao Yun. If Li Chuanying was stupid enough to cause trouble for Zhao Yun, then there would be a good show to watch. After Feng Xianxia finished speaking, Liang Jinxiao's face darkened even more. Chapter 10:19. After Xuanhuan said that, the second branch felt even worse. Grandma, Zhao Jing didn't know what to say. She could only lower her head and feel even worse. When Li Chuanying saw her daughter's ashamed look, she couldn't help but defend herself. Mother, how can my family's Jing be compared to that girl Yun? That girl Yun is very powerful and is best at seducing men. My family's Jing is a well-behaved girl and can't do such a thing. Alright, stop making excuses, Xuanhuan replied unhappily. Li Chuanying wanted to say something, but she didn't know what to say. She was still guilty. It was useless to argue about it now. Mother, I'm full. I'm going back to my room. Zhao Jing couldn't stay any longer. She put the bowl and chopsticks on the table, got up and left. Looking at Zhao Jing's back, she seemed very sad. Li Chuanying sighed heavily in her heart. It was normal for her baby daughter to be sad. After all, Xuanhuan and Feng Xianxia had said terrible things. Her daughter was a thin-skinned girl. She definitely couldn't bear such words. There was no other way now. She could only ask matchmaker Gao to go to the Zheng family and ask what Zheng Qian meant. She couldn't leave her daughter hanging, could she? If she wanted a reply, she should give it as soon as possible. Her daughter's marriage couldn't be delayed forever. The atmosphere at old Zhao's table suddenly became much more gloomy. Mother, there's going to be a banquet at third younger brother's house tomorrow. Should we go with father? Feng Xianxia asked. Xuanhuan replied, Of course your father will go. Why do you ask? Mother, I think the banquet at third younger brother's house must be very good. There will be food and wine. Feng Xianxia added. Xuanhuan frowned and said unhappily to Feng Xianxia, Eldest daughter-in-law, what are you talking about? What are you trying to say? Mom, I just want to say that we can send some money to them as well. Just give them 20 copper coins as a token of appreciation. At that time, the men in our family will be able to enjoy the meal. If you can eat it back for 20 copper coins. Feng Xianxia looked at Huachun as if she was trying to please her. Huachun rolled her eyes and said, You have a good idea. Although you can eat it back, you still have to spend money. We don't have that much money for you to spend. Mother, it's not good for me to not be able to eat at our third brother's banquet, right? Mother, it's not like our family spends money every day. This time we're willing to part with it. Very early on, when Shui hurriedly followed up on Feng Xianxia's words. The thought of being able to eat meat and drink wine made him drool. Tomorrow, his third brother would hold a banquet and everyone in the courtyard would be eating delicious food. Their family couldn't eat wild vegetables at home like they did now. They lost their appetite after just a glance at them. That's not good either. How about this? When third younger brother's banquet is over tomorrow, there will be a lot of leftover food. I can ask for some of it back at that time. In this way you can eat delicious food again and don't need to spend dozens of copper coins. Xuanhuan's words weren't unreasonable. However, it was easy to say but hard to do. Mother, will third younger brother give us some? Feng Xianxia frowned and asked. Chapter 10:20. Mother, it's possible for third brother to give it to us. But don't forget, third brother still has Yun behind him. That girl is very stingy. If we want her to give something to our family, it will probably be very difficult. Third brother's family has so many leftovers, so who else should they give them to? I don't think they can eat all of it. Mom, third brother's family is building a house now, and there are many people coming. What if they eat all of it and don't give it to us? Xuanhuan frowned and said seriously, how can they not give it to us? If they really don't want to give it to us, we'll go and make trouble for them. They used old Zhao's yard, so they should at least be rewarded, right? Hearing Xuanhuan's words, Feng Xiangxia's eyes lit up, and she hurriedly nodded. Mom, you're right. They used our yard, so they should at least be rewarded, let alone our own family. You can't be so stingy to your own family. Okay. Liang Jinxiao replied calmly. Mom, I want to eat at the table tomorrow. I don't want to eat leftovers. Zhao Xinhui pouted and said. She was a bit of a clean freak. When she thought about how so many people had touched their chopsticks and ate the food, how could she eat the leftovers when the time came? Xuanhuan was slightly surprised. How can you eat at the table? Your eldest brother and second brother can't eat at the table. Only your father can. It's okay to eat leftovers as long as it's delicious. No, I don't want to eat at the table. Mom, you know I don't eat leftovers. I want to eat at the table. Xuanhuan felt helpless. If you eat at the table, your father can't eat at the table. I think it's better if you don't eat at the table. No, Mom, I just want to eat. I want to eat. Xuanhuan felt helpless. I can't do that. How about this? I'll tell your sister-in-law to leave some leftovers. They haven't eaten at all. Zhao Xinhui was still displeased. Mom, I don't care. I just want to eat at the table. Zhao Xinhui knew that eating at the table was different. After all, eating at the table was different from eating leftovers. They could taste all the good dishes served at the table. Well, Xuanhuan thought for a while. She could only do what Feng Xiangxia said. She added 20 copper coins and let Zhao Xinhui enjoy the meal as much as she wanted. Mom, I want to eat at the table. Zhao Xinhui pulled Zhao Yun'er's sleeves and begged Xuanhuan. Alright, it's only 20 copper coins. We go and eat. You must eat back the 20 copper coins. Zhao Xinhui nodded. Mom, I know. Of course, I'll eat back the 20 copper coins. That's great. The other people at the table had already been annoyed by Xuanhuan's favoritism. They couldn't say anything, but Zhao Xinhui immediately made a fuss. How could she do that? Zhao Wenshui couldn't help but say, Mom, it's not worth it for us men to eat at the table. My younger sister can't eat as much as us and she doesn't drink either. Zhao Wenshui's meaning was obvious. If Zhao Xinhui could eat at the table, why couldn't they? Alright, stop talking. If all of you eat at the table, where will you get so much money? You only know how to be calculative. If your younger sister goes, how can you be the eldest brother? Chapter 10:21. She knew that if she said one more word, Xuanhuan would nag at her again. I know, Mom. I'm just saying. I didn't say that I must eat it at the dining table. It's good that you know. Xuanhuan snorted. Old Zhao's family was eating in low spirits, while Zhao Yun'er's family was enjoying the meal. After dinner, Zhao Yun prepared to make more meatloaf soup for Yili. She wondered whether Yili had eaten it before. Seeing Zhao Yun carrying a big bowl of rice and a big bowl of meatloaf soup, Zhao Wenhua couldn't help but ask, Yun who are you bringing the meatloaf soup for? Zhao Yun naturally wouldn't say that it was for Yili. She hadn't told anyone that Yili was staying with her. However, since Zhao Wenhua asked her, she had to give him an answer. Father, this is for my family's little black to eat. Zhao Yun pulled the corner of her mouth and explained. Hearing that, Zhao Wenhua opened his mouth and sighed. He said to Zhao Yun, Yun your dog can eat so much? Besides, you only need to feed it with leftovers. Isn't it too extravagant to make such fresh meatloaf soup for a dog? Xuanhuan thought that it was just a dog, not a human. People in the village usually raised dogs to feed people with leftovers. This was the first time that he had seen Zhao Yun'er feeding a dog with such good food. Well, Zhao Yun'er smiled embarrassedly. She didn't know how to explain all of a sudden. That Xiaohe doesn't eat like this all the time. It's fine to eat some good food once in a while. Ah, fine. Yun'er, you can bring it back to Xiaohe. Yeah. Zhao Yun'er responded and went back. She had to give the broth to Yili as soon as possible. Otherwise the broth would turn cold. When they got home, Yili was lying on the floor with a pensive look on his face. No one knew what he was thinking. Zhao Yun'er had not yet entered the house, and the smell of meat that she wanted to spew out first penetrated her nostrils. Yili felt his appetite being whetted. Little Black was originally playing with Little Mao in the wooden shed. When he smelled the aroma of meat, he hurriedly ran towards Zhao Yun'er. Miss Yun'er, what did you bring back? Yili asked with a smile. Zhao Yun'er placed the bowl and chopsticks on the table and smiled at Yili. Have you tried meatloaf soup before? Yili shook his head. He had never heard of it. Come and try it. Zhao Yun'er greeted Yili with a smile. Yili nodded and responded. Looking at the food on the table, Yili smiled and said, Not only have I never heard of it, but I've also never seen it before. You'll be able to eat it soon. Try it and see if you like it. Yili responded and picked up a piece of meatloaf with his chopsticks and put it into his mouth. In fact, he was a very ordinary person, but it tasted really good. It was very refreshing and made people want to continue eating after eating it. It's delicious, Yili said with a smile. Haha, isn't it? I think it's delicious too. You should eat more. Zhao Yun'er stared at Yili curiously. She saw that Yili was eating very happily and kept swallowing the food into his stomach. Eat slower. Don't choke. Zhao Yun'er saw how fast Yili ate and was afraid that Yili would accidentally choke. Chapter 1022. Zhao Yun'er smiled even brighter. Have you really never eaten this before? No. Yili shook his head. It doesn't make sense. It's a very common thing. Doesn't your family cook this? Zhao Yun'er looked at Yili curiously. Yili still shook his head. I've never eaten it before. Alright then. Sai, I feel like you haven't eaten anything before. Zhao Yun'er looked at Yili with sympathy. Zhao Yun'er was curious about Yili's personality. This man looked very lonely. He never mentioned his family members. Could he be an orphan? Just when Zhao Yun'er was lost in thought, a dog suddenly barked. This barking didn't come from anywhere else. It came from Little Hay. Oof, oof, oof. Little Hay barked at Yili. Zhao Yun'er and Yili were stunned. They looked at Little Hay, who was squatting on the ground. Oof, oof, oof. Little Hay continued barking and stared at the bowl on the table. Without a doubt, Little Hay wanted to eat the meat patties in the bowl. Yun'er, this. Yili looked at Little Hay on the ground, then looked at Zhao Yun'er. He wants to eat the food in your bowl. As Zhao Yun'er said, Xiaohe also responded with a whimper, and then stared at Yili eagerly. Yili suddenly didn't know what to do. If a dog wanted to eat, he couldn't refuse to give it some food. Little Black's tongue was still licking here and there, looking very gluttonous. Then I'll share some with him. Yili thought for a while. It didn't seem good for him to take all the food. Little Hay looked at him eagerly and looked very pitiful. All right. Zhao Yun'er brought Little Black's bowl over, and Yili poured some meatloaf soup into Little Black's bowl. Come, Little Black, eat. Zhao Yun'er greeted Little Hay. Xiao He immediately got up from the ground and rushed towards Zhao Yun'er. He even wagged his tail at Zhao Yun'er. He thought that Yili ate faster, but Little Hay ate much faster than Yili. After swallowing half a bowl of meatloaf soup, he licked the corner of his mouth to savor the aftertaste. Woof, woof, woof. Little Black continued to bark a few more times. It seemed like Little Black wanted more. Zhao Yun'er patted Little Black's head and said to Little Black, Little Black, I know you've grown up and your appetite has become bigger. But she's already given you half of it, isn't that enough? Could it be that you'll only be happy if I give you everything? People should be content with what they have. You can't be like this. Otherwise, I won't give it to you next time. Little Black understood Zhao Yun'er's words and made a woo-woo sound, but he didn't continue to shout about eating. Little Black is so obedient. Zhao Yun'er patted Little Black's head and praised him. Woo-woo-woo. Little Black enjoyed Zhao Yun'er's stroking of his fur. Looking at Little Black's physique, he grew really fast. In just 1 or 2 months, his body had more than doubled in size. The bigger he grew, the more food he needed to eat. If it was in the past, half a bowl of meatloaf soup would probably fill Little Black's stomach. But now, it wasn't enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. Mother, Little Black can eat more and more now. Dowdu came in front of Xiaoyuner and said in a childish voice. Xiaoyuner nodded and replied, "Yes, Little Black can eat more and more. Mother, Little Black is also growing bigger and bigger. Will he grow up to be like Big Gray in the future?" Chapter 1023. Xiaoyuner wasn't sure how big Little Black was, but it seemed that Little Black wasn't simple. Maybe he could grow up to be a big wolf dog even bigger than Big Gray. Dowdu's eyes lit up when he heard this. "Mother, is that true? Can Little Black really grow up to be as Big Gray?" "Yes." Xiaoyuner replied when she saw that Dowdu was looking forward to it. "Mother, if Little Black can grow up to be as Big Gray, then Dowdu will definitely be very awe-inspiring when he goes out with Little Black." Xiaoyuner patted Dowdu's head and smiled. Of course. Xiaoyuner was amused by Dowdu's words. A child's world was really simple. However, Xiaoyuner really wanted to protect Dowdu's innocence and not let Dowdu suffer any harm. Dowdu went over to Little Black and squatted down. He patted Little Black's head and said, "Little Black, you have to grow up quickly. When you grow up, no one will dare to bully me when I take you out." After Dowdu's reminder, Little Black barked a few times at Dowdu, as if to express his agreement. Seeing this scene, Xiaoyuner's heart was filled with warmth. How could their family be so harmonious? How could a dog and a human be so harmonious? Being their family's dog was also very blissful. The next day, Xiaoyuner's family began to bustle with activity. Zhao Ping'er's wedding was a big event. Xiaoyuner was also very excited. Others felt that this was a joyous day and were excited to be able to join in the fun. However, Xiaoyuner felt that it was very difficult not to be excited after seeing off Zhao Ping'er, the god of plague. Early in the morning, the people of the third branch woke up to prepare for the relevant matters. The wedding banquet was held at noon, so the banquet was held at noon. Now Zhao Ping'er had to dress up and wait for the people from the family Qin to come and pick her up. Because Xiaoyuner was getting married, everyone in her family had to be present, especially her uncles. In addition to Xiaoyuner's first and second uncles, several aunts also came to join in the fun. There was also his cousin and Xiaoyuner's grandmother. It could be said that Liang Jinxiao's entire family had come out, except for a few people of the same generation as Xiaoyuner who stayed at home and did not come. After all, they knew that Xiaoyuner's family would definitely entertain them when they came over. If he could eat something good, why wouldn't he eat it? He wasn't stupid. According to the customs of the countryside, when a daughter got married, the uncle had to be present. The aunt was dispensable. As for his grandmother, she would usually come over. It was understandable that old Madame Liang came to see Zhao Ping'er's wedding. But what did her aunt and cousin mean by coming over to join in the fun? Xiaoyuner was not stupid. Naturally, she knew what they were up to. Xiaoyuner could not do anything to thick-skinned people. She could not go against them. On such a big day, it was not good to drive them away. She could only let them take advantage of her and come over to have a meal. In the morning, many people came to Xiaoyuner's house to join in the fun. In the room of the third branch, Zhao Ping'er, who had changed into the wedding dress, was dressing up. Seeing Zhao Ping'er's wedding dress, the people who came were admiring and envious. "Ping'er, you're so lucky. Yes, to be able to wear such a beautiful wedding dress. This wedding dress is so beautiful. It's obvious that it's expensive. I've seen so many people get married, but I've never seen a girl get married in a more beautiful wedding dress." Chapter 1024. That's why Ping'er is so lucky. It should be said that old Zhao's third branch is very lucky. How can an ordinary family have such a beautiful wedding dress to wear? They can't bear to spend so much money. Now, the third branch is different from before. Their family is building houses and so on. They are rich. That's about right. Since they are rich, they can naturally prepare these things for their daughter. If my family was so rich, I would also prepare these things for my daughter. That's right. Only rich people can let their daughters marry off in a grand manner. Poor people can forget about it. This Ping'er's wedding dress is probably enough to buy several loads of grain. Let's just take a look. I'm so envious. Yeah, how many girls in the village can marry off in such a grand manner? Look at Ping'er's dowry. Old Zhao's third branch really prepared a lot. It's not shabby at all. It's just a daughter. How can it be shabby? That's right. Everyone has their own life. Ping'er has a good life. Yeah, Ping'er has a good life after all. When the onlooking villagers saw it, they chattered outside the door. The discussion was very loud and there was no need to hide it at all. After all, they were not saying anything bad. Even if Zhao Yun'er's family heard it, Zhao Yun'er's family would definitely not take it to heart. However, the villagers' discussion fell into the ears of Zhao Yun'er's relatives. Relatives always liked to compete with each other. They could not stand to see who was better than the other. Therefore, when they saw that Zhao Yun'er's daughter was getting married in such a grand manner, they could not help but feel a little jealous. Especially Zhao Yun'er's cousins. When they saw Zhao Ping'er's wedding dress, their eyes turned red and they looked very jealous. Liang Xinhua said to Zhao Yun'er's second aunt Wu Zhenju beside her ear, "Mother, look. This pig is wearing such a beautiful wedding dress today. She's so ugly. What a waste of the wedding dress." Wu Zhenju agreed very much and said, "Yeah, Ping-er really wasted the wedding dress. She's really overestimating herself. In comparison, she's even uglier. I don't know what Ping-er is thinking. How can she have no self-awareness at all?" Liang Xinhua snorted and said, "Mother, isn't it normal for them to have no self-awareness? AI, it's a waste of this dress. Mother, when I get married, can you buy me a wedding dress? If I wear such clothes, I'll definitely look grand when I get married. I won't embarrass our Liang family. When I go back to my in-laws' side, I'll definitely have some status." This, Wu Zhenju frowned and said, It's not that mother doesn't want to buy it for you or can't bear to buy it for you. It's just that this is a very expensive thing. Your father and the others have to agree to it. Our family is so big that we're very careful about spending money. Once we buy it for you, when the other girls get married in the future, they'll definitely haggle over it and have to buy it for you. This is not a small expense. Liang Xinhua understood that Wu Zhenju meant that it was very difficult to buy this wedding dress for her. Liang Xinhua still had a lot of unwillingness in her heart. If she did not see Zhao Ping'er like this, it would be fine. The main thing was that when she saw Zhao Ping'er dressed so beautifully for her wedding, she felt very uncomfortable in her heart. Chapter 1025. The more Liang Xinhua thought about it, the more indignant she felt. "Mother, I'm different from the others in our family. I married into a good family and my in-laws gave me a lot of money as gifts. Therefore, it's only right for me to dress nicely when I get married. The others can't find a good in-law, and they can't accept a lot of betrothal gifts. They can't compare themselves to me in dressing nicely and getting married in style." Liang Xinhua said to Wu Zhenju, somewhat indignant. When Wu Zhenju heard this, he felt that Liang Xinhua's words made a lot of sense. You seem to be right. Mother, of course. I'm just telling the truth. All right then. Mother will go back and tell your father and the others. Indeed, our family received a lot of money as gifts for your wedding. We have to prepare well so that you can get married in style. Yes. Liang Xinhua nodded, her heart filled with anticipation. As long as she was a girl, who wouldn't want to dress beautifully on their wedding day? Not far away, Zhao Yun'er's eldest uncle's daughter, Liang Xinzi, heard Liang Xinhua's words. Her delicate brows furrowed with disgust, as if she was very unhappy with Liang Xinhua's words. However, this unpleasant feeling was quickly hidden by him. Liang Xinzi stared at Zhao Ping'er and tugged at Guocaixia, who was beside her. Mother, Sister Ping'er is really lucky today. Guocaixia nodded and said, "Yes, Ping'er is a lucky girl. Sister Ping looks much prettier than usual today when she dresses up like this." Haha, of course. If she doesn't look prettier, would she look uglier? As the saying goes, clothes make the man and gold makes the Buddha. The saying is definitely true. Little Ping'er looks much better now that she's dressed up. Yes. Liang Xinzi replied. Liang Xinzi purposely raised her voice so that Liang Xinhua could hear her. She wanted to anger Liang Xinhua. Sure enough, when Liang Xinhua heard this, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. She felt that Liang Xinhua must be blind. Even after dressing up, she still looked so ugly. How could she say such words? "You're blind?" Liang Xinhua secretly complained. The corners of Liang Xinhua's mouth curled up as she allowed Liang Xinhua to continue. She knew that Liang Xinhua was jealous of Zhao Ping'er. Thinking about how Liang Xinhua was jealous of others, Liang Xinhua's heart felt sour. Sister Ping'er is so lucky. Don't be like him, if only you could marry half as well as him. Liang Shizi muttered again. Guocaixia smiled and said, "Zier, don't worry. I will." On this end, while the Liang family members were muttering, Zhao Ping'er was almost done with her preparations. Comb her hair to her tail, comb her hair to her eyebrows, comb her hair to her eyebrows, comb her hair to fill the hall with grandchildren. Old Madame Liang smoothed Zhao Ping'er's hair in front of her. After she was done smoothing her hair, she began to braid Zhao Ping'er's hair. When the hairstyle was done, she put a big red flower on her head, looking very festive. Zhao Ping'er sat and kept urging, hurry up, don't be too slow. What if Big Brother Yuan comes to fetch me? Zhao Ping'er's impatient words made everyone present feel very awkward. Whose family's girl was marrying someone like Zhao Ping'er? When other people got married, they were reluctant to part with them. Zhao Ping'er could not wait to immediately become part of their family. Chapter 1026. After old Madame Liang finished speaking, everyone present couldn't help but snicker. They felt that old Madame Liang was right. Zhao Ping'er really couldn't get married like this. If it wasn't for the fact that Xuanhuan was willing to marry her, Zhao Ping'er would probably have to stay at home for the rest of her life and become an old lady. No wonder Zhao Ping'er was so anxious. Thinking about it, it made sense. Ping'er's grandmother helped her comb her hair quickly. Don't make her anxious. That's right. Look at how anxious he is. Hurry up. We can't let the man wait. Otherwise he won't be willing to wait and will turn around to leave. Who will marry Ping'er in the future? Haha, that's right. Ping'er's marriage isn't easy. Don't make things difficult for her. That's right. Hurry up and do it for her. Otherwise Ping'er's going to cry. The people who wanted to join in the fun said one sentence after another with a hint of teasing. Zhao Ping'er wasn't in the mood to bicker with them. Instead, she continued to urge old Madame Liang. Old Madame Liang was helpless. She could only help Zhao Ping'er's hairstyle quickly. After Zhao Ping'er's hairstyle was done, she looked in the mirror and started to apply rouge on her face. Ping'er, what are you doing? Old Madame Liang had never seen this before. She curiously came over and asked Zhao Ping'er, Grandmother, this is rouge. Rouge? Old Madame Liang looked at it and was still very puzzled. Yes, rouge. This thing is worth a lot. Zhao Ping'er said proudly. Knowing that there were so many people in the room, she was showing off. How much is it? Old Madame Liang asked weakly. Zhao Ping'er raised her voice and said, Grandmother, this is just a small box. It's worth a few hundred copper coins or one tael of silver. Hearing Zhao Ping'er's words, old Madame Liang looked at Zhao Ping'er in surprise. What? This thing is so expensive? It's just a small box. Little Ping, you're not talking nonsense, are you? Zhao Ping'er frowned and said, Grandmother, how could I talk nonsense? It's really that much. Why, is it so expensive? You can buy a lot of meat with that money. Old Madame Liang felt. She felt that Zhao Ping's money was not worth it. Grandma, this is good stuff. You don't understand. After applying this stuff, it can make people look better. Zhao Ping's even more. The more she felt, as complacent. After all, she was by buys to the people at the side heard, and some of them had heard of rouge before. They could not help but sigh. Looks like the third branch is really rich now. They're even willing to buy such expensive things for the lass. Isn't that so? I heard that rouge is only used by the young ladies of wealthy families. Yes, I've heard of it too. We country folk don't have the ability to use it. Ping'ers can't even use things that are used by the young ladies of wealthy families. Sai, what can we do? The third branch is rich. The envious voices around them grew. Zhao Ping'er's vanity was greatly satisfied. Liang Xinyue's jealousy grew. Not only did the ugly Zhao Ping'er have a wedding dress, but now she even has rouge. Chapter 1027. What? Why did that slut Zhao Ping'er have such a good life? Why wasn't their family the one who got rich? If their family was like Zhao Ping'er's family and got rich, they would probably be able to afford such an expensive rouge. What a waste of good stuff. Liang Xinyue muttered. She thought that if the rouge was used on her face, it would definitely make her face very beautiful. Zhao Ping'er's foundation was really too poor. No matter how much she dressed up, it couldn't cover up Zhao Ping'er's ugly face. What a waste of good stuff. Liang Xinzi chuckled. What are you talking about? It's their problem to waste, it has nothing to do with us. Besides, their family is rich. They have the money to waste, unlike us who can't even afford to buy it. After Liang Xinzi finished speaking, Liang Xinyue felt even more uncomfortable. Don't talk nonsense. When I said waste, I wasn't referring to this. I wasn't referring to that. I can't be bothered to talk to you. Liang Xinyue pursed her lips. Liang Xinzi didn't continue speaking. However, when she saw the jealousy on Liang Xinyue's face, Liang Xinzi's heart continued to feel a little better. She liked to see Liang Xinhua jealous of others while she couldn't get anything. "Grandma, I'm getting married today, so I have to dress up beautifully. That's why I have to put on this rouge." "Is that so?" Old Madame Liang didn't know much about this. Xiaoping nodded. "Grandma, you'll know in a while." Old Madame Liang stared at Xiaoping curiously. She wanted to see what Xiaoping was going to do. Xiaoping took out the rouge from the box and applied it to her face. After applying it, her whole face suddenly became much paler. Even some of the freckles on her face were covered. When Liang Jinxiao saw this, he could not help but exclaim, "Ah, Ping girl, you look so much prettier." Xiaoping smiled proudly and said, "Grandma, of course. Grandma, ordinary people can't get such a good thing." Old Madame Liang replied with a smile. "Ah, that's right. Such a good thing and so expensive. Ordinary people can't get their hands on it. Grandma, do you think I've become more beautiful?" Xiaoping purposely moved her face closer to him. Old Madame Liang nodded as she looked at her spotless face. "Yes, it does look better." With old Madame Liang's affirmation, Xiaoping was even more proud. Thus, she continued to dig into the rouge box. After a while, she applied a lot of rouge on her face. After Xiaoping's antics, his face, which was already pale enough, became as pale as a dead person's face. After that, Xiaoping did not notice it at all. She still thought that she looked good with her makeup. After applying the rouge, Xiaoping continued to apply red paper to her lips. Her lips were bright red and it looked like modern lipstick. Thus, Xiaoping's final makeup was a pale face with bright red lips and a birthmark on her face. She was originally a healthy person, but now she looked like a female ghost. Xiaoping's birthmark could not be covered even by the rouge. Compared with her pale face, it was even more obvious and ugly. After seeing this, everyone fell silent. Chapter 1028. I don't look good? Xiaoping asked in confusion. Old Madame Liang nodded and said, "Yes, Ping you don't look good. Why don't you wipe off the rouge on your face?" Xiaoping didn't believe her and insisted, "Grandma, how am I not pretty? I think I look pretty good. That's all." Since Xiaoping insisted, the others didn't say anything. However, when they saw Xiaoping dressed up like a ghost, they couldn't help but laugh. They didn't know where Xiaoping got the courage to say that. Didn't she look in the mirror to see what she looked like? Liang Xinhua looked at her and was very proud. "Ha, you're so stupid. Aren't you afraid that men will be scared to death if they see you like this?" Fortunately, she covered her face with a veil in advance. Once the veil was put on, no one could see what Xiaoping looked like. However, Xiaoping's future husband would definitely see Xiaoping's ghostly appearance. Liang Xinhua was curious. When the Qin Yuan took off Zhao Yin'er's veil, would he think that he had seen a ghost? Faced with such a face, how could they continue to consummate their marriage? At this moment, Liang Xinhua felt a little sympathy for the Qin Yuan. What she didn't understand was why a woman like Zhao Ping was willing to marry her. "Ping, I'm doing this for your own good. Why don't you listen to me? Do you really want to get married like this?" The more old Madame Liang looked at Zhao Ping's face, the more uncomfortable she felt. In the end, she couldn't help but nag at Zhao Ping again. Zhao Ping frowned. "Grandma, I put a lot of effort into dressing up. I think it's pretty good. Didn't you say it was pretty good just now? Why are you saying it's not good now?" Old Madame Liang sighed. "You could before, but now you've smeared too much on your face. That's why it looks weird." Zhao Ping frowned even more. "Grandma, this rouge is very expensive. It would be a waste to wipe it off. Don't worry, just put it on your face." "Fine. Ping, it's your fault for being disobedient. Don't blame us later for dressing you up." Zhao Ping grinned. "Got it, Grandma. I won't scold you." "That's good." Old Madame Liang nodded. After Zhao Ping finished dressing up, she immediately covered herself with the red veil. She then sat on the bed waiting for Qin Yuan to pick her up. When she sat on the bed, she was nervous and excited. She wished that Qin Yuan could come over right away and marry her as soon as possible. After Zhao Ping covered herself with the red veil, the people who came over to see how the bride looked like all left one after another. Now that they saw the bride's face, they felt that she was very scary. Ordinary people probably didn't have the courage to face such a woman. They had been here for so many years and had seen many brides. Zhao Ping was the most well-dressed but ugly one they had ever seen. As they left, they were still chattering. "Sai, don't talk about Ping. Why did she only get married at such an old age? Her appearance is really too shabby." Exactly. She's not only ugly, but she also smears her face like a ghost. It's so scary. Chapter 1029. Haha, it's mainly because Pinger is so interesting. She thinks she's pretty? Some people just don't know their place. She doesn't even know what she looks like. Why would she waste such a good rouge on her face? The rouge belongs to her. She doesn't care about it. What can you do? I really don't know what to do, but today is really interesting. Haha, I want to see how the groom will react when he sees the bride. I wonder if he'll be as scared as we are. However, we probably won't be able to see it. After all, the bride's red veil won't be lifted until the wedding night. Alas, what a pity. Most of these people were making sarcastic remarks. After all, Zhao Pinger's flaunting made them feel uncomfortable. Therefore, they naturally wanted to see Zhao Pinger make a fool of herself. In the room of the third branch, most of the outsiders had left. Only the family stayed. Seeing that Zhao Pinger was finally going to get married, old lady Liang couldn't help sighing. Alas, I finally get to see Pinger get married. That's great. That's right. It's really not easy to see Pinger get married. Sister, you don't have to worry about Pinger anymore. Wu Zhenju followed behind old lady Liang and agreed. However, there was a slight difference in their tones. When old lady Liang said that, she sounded very happy, but when Wu Zhenju said that, he sounded a little jealous. Liang Jinxiao smiled. Yeah, it's really not easy for Pinger to get married. Today is a big day. I have to make arrangements for Pinger so that she can get married in a grand way. After Liang Jinxiao finished speaking, Wu Zhenju said sourly, Sister, you really married Pinger off in a grand way. Look at Pinger's outfit. How many girls from other families can dress like this? You're only willing to spend money on her. Most people probably won't. Also, eldest sister, I heard that your family's banquet is going to have 10 tables. We've seen a lot of happy events. It's really not easy to have 10 tables. Liang Jinxiao smiled sheepishly and said, Pinger is finally getting married. Since her family is able to afford it, of course we'll do it for her. Actually, the total cost isn't that much. Wu Zhenju said with a fake smile. What are you talking about? You look so grand, but you still say that you didn't spend much money. It seems that your family has really made a lot of money, so you don't care about this little bit of money, right? Well, it's not that big of a deal. As long as we can live a good life, it's enough. Liang Jinxiao said casually. Of course, she wouldn't tell Wu Zhenju how much money she had made. Precisely because Liang Jinxiao didn't want to tell him, Wu Zhenju wanted to know how much money Liang Jinxiao's family had made. Eldest sister, what are you talking about? How can we live a good life? It's simply wonderful. Wu Zhenju continued. Liang Jinxiao really didn't want to continue talking about this topic, but Wu Zhenju wouldn't let it go. Liang Jinxiao was very distressed. What her family was doing and how much money they had made was their family's business. It had nothing to do with other people. Chapter 1030. Second sister-in-law, it's not me. It's Yunar's ability. Liang Jinxiao pushed all the blame onto Zhao Yunar. At this moment, Zhao Yunar wasn't in the house. Liang Jinxiao thought that Wu Zhenju would drop the topic. However, to Liang Jinxiao's disappointment, Wu Zhenju kept on asking. Oh right, big sister, if you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have thought about it. Now that you mention it, I remember. What happened to your family's Yunar? Tell us about it. Liang Jinxiao met Wu Zhenju's gossipy eyes and felt a sharp pain in his forehead. Oh God, why was his second sister-in-law so talkative? She kept on asking questions as if she was interested in everything in their family. There were some things that Liang Jinxiao really didn't want to reveal, but Wu Zhenju asked very directly. He didn't know what Wu Zhenju wanted to do. After all, she was his second sister-in-law. No matter how annoying Wu Zhenju was, Liang Jinxiao couldn't say anything to Wu Zhenju. He couldn't not respond to Wu Zhenju and he couldn't make Wu Zhenju shut up. Second sister-in-law, don't ask so many questions. Big sister is already busy enough today. She doesn't have the energy to answer so many of your questions. Guocaixia couldn't stand it anymore and stood up for Liang Jinxiao. Wu Zhenju replied unhappily, I'm also concerned about big sister's family situation. Concern is concern, but you can't ask like this. Look at big sister's headache now because of you. Guocaixia said sarcastically. The two sisters-in-law didn't have a good relationship and didn't see eye to eye with each other. Now that there was an opportunity to criticize each other, how could they let it go? Wu Zhenju wanted to say something but was stopped by old Madame Liang. Old Madame Liang said to Wu Zhenju, second daughter-in-law, your sister-in-law is right. I think you'd better not ask. If you have any questions you can ask them slowly after Pinger's marriage is over. After all, old Madame Liang was his mother-in-law. In the Liang family the daughter-in-law had to listen to her mother-in-law. No matter how strong Wu Xinzhu was, he was still respectful to old Madame Liang. Wu Xinzhu stopped for a moment after old Madame Liang finished speaking. The family gathered together and continued to chat casually. Old Madame Liang went to Liang Jinxiao and asked about the situation with Zhao Ping'er's in-laws. After all, she didn't live in the same village as Liang Jinxiao. Old Madame Liang was old and it was difficult for her to move around. Therefore she didn't know much about Zhao Yun'er's family situation. Liang Jinxiao told her about the situation. Old Madame Liang was quite cold. Only then did she understand how Zhao Ping'er got married. It turned out that they spent money to see Zhao Ping'er get married. This kind of thing was really rare. After all, no man would be willing to marry Zhao Yun'er with that face of hers. Old Madame Liang muttered, it's okay. Ping'er can get married. It doesn't matter if the family is poor as long as the person is normal. Some girls even have to marry a fool or a cripple. In comparison, Ping'er's family is much better. That's right. Liang Jinxiao replied. Marrying a fool or a cripple was harming his daughter. Liang Jinxiao couldn't do such a thing. Even if Zhao Ping'er couldn't get married, he wouldn't let Zhao Ping'er marry someone like that. That would be harming her for the rest of her life. Chapter 1031. While they were talking, Liang Jinfen and Liang Jinyu came over. Liang Jinfen's whole family came over to eat at the wedding banquet. Nominally, it was because Zhao Ping'er was getting married, and it was inappropriate for her to not come as a second aunt. But in fact she just wanted to eat more. As soon as Liang Jinfen came in, she said to the room, "Oh, everyone is here." "Yes." Wu Xinzhu responded and said to Liang Jinfen, "Second sister, your family is here too." Liang Jinfen was very polite to Wu Xinzhu. She smiled and said, "Yes, isn't this Ping'er's big day? I'm Ping'er's second aunt. How could I not come?" Wu Xinzhu nodded and said, "That's right. Ping'er's wedding is a big day. As relatives we should come and support her." "Haha, that's why I'm here now. Second sister, you must be tired after such a long journey, right? Sit down and rest." Wu Xinzhu greeted her warmly, as if he was entertaining people in his own home. Liang Jinfen responded with a smile, "Okay, let's all take a rest." Okay. As soon as they sat down, Liang Jinfen looked around curiously. When he saw Zhao Ping'er he sighed and said, "Oh, Ping'er looks so good today." With that, Liang Jinfen moved closer to Zhao Ping'er to take a good look. Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, "Ping'er is getting married today. Of course she has to dress up. Naturally she has to look better than usual." Liang Jinfen responded with a smile, "Of course. After all, Ping'er is getting married today. Of course she has to dress up." Liang Jinfen responded, Of course. Ping'er doesn't have it easy. I'm late and haven't seen how Ping'er looks today. Let me take a look." As Liang Jinfen spoke, he moved closer to Zhao Ping'er. He asked Zhao Ping'er, "Ping'er, can I lift your veil and take a look?" Zhao Ping'er thought for a while and finally said, "Okay, second aunt. Just one look." In fact, Zhao Ping'er felt that she should let more people see her beautiful appearance. She should let her second aunt see what she looked like after dressing up. It would be best if her second aunt could compliment her when she saw her. Liang Jinfen walked over with a smile and lifted Zhao Ping'er's veil. Liang Jinfen jumped in fright when she saw what was on the screen. "Ghost!" Liang Jinfen screamed and fell backward. Seeing Liang Jinfen scream and the words that came out of Liang Jinfen's mouth, everyone in the room was stunned at first. Then they all reacted differently. Zhao Ping'er was furious. "Ghost?" He called her a ghost. Coupled with Liang Jinfen's reaction, wasn't this too exaggerated? Zhao Ping'er wasn't stupid enough to think that Liang Jinfen wasn't talking about her. Hence, she looked at Liang Jinfen angrily and complained to Liang Jinfen. "Second aunt, who are you calling a ghost?" After hearing Zhao Ping'er's voice, Liang Jinfen realized that he wasn't looking at a ghost. It was Zhao Ping'er. Instantly she felt very awkward. You're tuning in to the Sword Dance in the Vast Sky YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.